Boo. Hi guys. I am back. At least I think I'm back. We'll find out if I'm really back in a minute, but for the moment, what I really want to do is go to Riften, because Riften's my favorite city in this game. Definitely. This is definitely not a lie that I'm saying right now, with massive amounts of sardonicism.
Hold there.
What?
Before I let you into Riften, you need to pay the visitor's tax.
I'm sorry, what? Visitor's tax?
For the privilege of entering the city. What does it matter?
You want to rob me before I even get in?
All right, calm down. No need for that. I'll let you in right away. Just need to get the gate unlocked.
Good.
Welcome to Riften.
Thanks, jackass. God. Alright. Hi, Geludo. And Terra. There we go. So I'm going to try something dangerous, crazy, and insane. I'm going to literally crank the volume of the game as high as it will go, in an effort to make it so you can frickin' hear these people. Let me know how it sounds, guys.
The gate's unlocked. You can head inside when you're ready.
Thank you. I appreciate your efforts in this matter. This is literally as loud as the game will go.
Welcome to Riften, home of the Thieves Guild. Or so they'd have you believe. It's all lies. They're just thugs. Vermin creeping around the rat way.
Well, let's see here. Lunch was good. We ended up getting Panera, which was not actually the original intention. But what are you gonna do? Where the hell? Is it actually inside? Hi, Grey Wolf. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Overseer. Hi, Lycon. Hi, Terra. Hi, Angrad. Hi, Dream Whisperer. Where the hell is this lady? One moment. Is this it? No, that's the Whiterun new. Hang on. There's just a quick quest. Okay, she is apparently inside. Which, damn, I have to actually go inside then. Well, Sonic, I will answer your questions to the greatest capacity that I have. And then I will kill you. But it's okay, because then I'll drag you right back up. So this is funny. You ever wonder how much Skyrim railroads you? Well, I can't go this way.
The Thieves Guild has Maven
Trouble?
I can't go this way. So the only way forward is past that guy. And even if I'm way over here... Oh, wow, I actually bypassed it. Usually he catches me and forces me into a conversation. Wow. I can't believe it. That is literally the first time I've gotten by that guy without him forcing me into a conversation. I guess I'm just a moron, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see here.
Take my advice. Don't listen to that talk of the face. Face butcher is more like it from what I've heard.
To my knowledge, no, Sonic Doctor. I probably shouldn't do that. Dwerven. There's no dwarves around here. What are you talking about? I don't understand why you're asking such a strange question. Well, it looks like they're not here right now, which is fine. I don't really want to do the other Riften stuff yet anyways. Which means we're going to Whiterun. And did they talk about the AI during the Paradox stream in Stellaris? Again, Sonic, to my knowledge, no. I understand what you're saying. No, I have not, James Carmichael. Although it was recently funded for a premiere run, so I'll probably be playing that in, like, late March, it sounds like, at the moment. My March is pretty crammed with other events, and then April is basically just going to be Ni no Kuni, too. So... Potema, and then we did Azura, and I think that's it. Oh no, we did, we also did Mehrunes Dagon's thing. I actually forgot how... I'm trying to think of how to say this as nicely as I can. I forgot how badly written the Mehrunes Dagon quest was. There we go. There we go. Remember, no negativity. Okay, let me explain myself really quick.
Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
What I mean by that is, during pretty much the whole quest chain, he...
Sadia, wake up, dear. Yes, Mum.
He doesn't... The guy we're talking to, I can't remember his frickin' name. The guy who wants the pieces of the dagger. He comes across as someone who's basically, like, not really fully evil, but still leaning in that direction, if you know what I mean. And someone who would probably be positively inclined towards the Mythic Dawn themselves. And if you listen to what he says and how he says it, he basically venerates the Mythic Dawn. You know, we held the world in its grip, and we were the ones who chose the Emperor, and blah, blah, blah. You know, basically talking them up, romanticizing the Mythic Dawn. Then Mehrunes Dagon orders him killed, and he immediately, just like that, is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Listen, I'm actually a good guy. And from that point on, the tone and the dialogue he says is completely different. It's practically a separate person. Like, oh my god, I never knew this was so horrible. It's like in a kid's cartoon, okay? I know that sounds weird. I'm thinking about making that a Lorem, the kid's cartoon mentality, because it's a form of writing, and I know you guys have seen this before, where someone basically is severely in one direction, something happens, and then they're severely the other. It's like an instantaneous bam, and then they change their mind, right? You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it felt a lot like that. It wasn't a severe example or an extreme example, but it did feel a lot like, yes, the Mythic Dawn are amazing, and the cults who followed Mankar Cameron, and we followed it into paradise, and Dagon, and oh god, Dagon's evil, I had no idea. Okay, here, it's okay, we'll just walk away from this one, thanks. Come on, guys. Anyways, that should be long enough. Go. But yeah, I'm with Django, Sonic Doctor.
You want a drink?
Why are you interrupting me?
Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both.
Okay. Well, I'll take all that stuff.
Now please, no more questions.
Seriously, though, and I said this back during Oblivion, I think, legitimately and without hesitation... What? Did I not collect him correctly? Hang on.
Mom?
I really need to kill this guy. There we go. I legitimately think, without hesitation, that that Martin would have been at least had the potential to be the best emperor literally ever.
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Never is.
Actually, yeah, James Carmichael. That's a good explanation of the type of person. So for those of you not aware, I actually just pickpocketed the commentaries on Mankar on Mysterium Xarxes off of the guy who got the book from the first edition in the Imperial City. But if you talk to him, you don't even need to do like particularly bad like checks or bribe him a lot of gold. If you just explain what's going on with the book and the fact that they killed the Emperor, he will freak out and he'll be like, "Whoa, okay, I thought this was some interesting theoretical stuff. Like, I thought this was a fascinating thought experiment, but if these people are actually assassinating people, that's not cool." Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put that. In EU4 terms, Martin would have been a 666. That is absolutely right. He might even be a 676. Or actually, I don't remember which one's which. But you know what I mean. He was a good... God, I've decided to rewrite Skyrim, ladies and gentlemen. And it's rather than being about the world going to hell in every way, shape, and form, it's going to be about us beating the ever-living crap out of the Thalmor. Who's with me? Of those threes, I'd probably go ahead and put him at 676 then, if I had to. He was someone I'd follow, and I don't say that a lot about a fiction character. Did that. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, no, we're here to join the companions. Who wants to be a werewolf? But first, I want to torture you guys real quick.
Spirit. The very idea is inconceivable to our elven overlords. Sharing the heavens with man? Ha! They can barely tolerate our presence on Earth. Today, they take away your faith. But what of tomorrow? What then? Do the elves take your homes? Your businesses? Your children? Your very lives? And what does the Empire do? Nothing! Nay, worse than nothing! The Imperial machine enforces the will of the Thalmor against its own people! So rise up, children of the Empire! Rise up, Stormcloaks! Embrace the word of mighty Talos!
So yeah, for those of you not aware, this guy literally directly quotes some stuff from Kirkbride that Kirkbride wrote when he was no longer working at Bethesda. It is, in fact, the only thing that Kirkbride has written that has been written outside of his employment at Bethesda that has been 100% confirmed as being in canon. When I say canon, I mean that they put it in the game. I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much. I've theorized this on before, but again, we're, of course, doing the lore run, so now is a good time to talk about this guy. How many of you think... Like, what do you think about this guy, is I guess where I'm going with this. Because I've heard a lot of theorizing about Heimskr here, whose name basically means stupid. I forget the exact wording right now, forgive me, but it's not a compliment. See, I've heard some people theorize that he's someone who is legitimately, a preacher, who's like, oh, Talos, 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 Talos. I've also heard some people say that he's... There's no nice way to say that he's badly voice acted. That, in other words, this guy wasn't supposed to be irritating, that it's just the voice actor makes him irritating. Yeah, no kidding. I've also heard... I've heard a whole bunch of theories, but I'm going to give you my theory, and it's the one I've given in stream before, and it's one that a couple of you have already mentioned in chat just now. I think he's a plant from the Thalmor. Now, this can actually be one of two things, or possibly both. So, remember, the Thalmor, at least some of the Thalmor, are pretty... Is he annoying in German? Shoot. Well, there you go. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Malachor. The more people enjoying Elder Scrolls, the better. I think that he was put here and is preaching, oh, Talos, Talos, Talos. So either or someone is showing up and is like, hey, tell me more about Talos, and then he can point to them so that the Thalmor go after them. Or he is someone who is, and I forget the name of this, but he's basically reverse propagandizing. This is a very common concept, actually, especially in real life. The idea is you like A, and the enemy likes B, but you really want people to not like B, and therefore be more inclined to A. So what you do is you send someone else to be like a straw a straw man, basically, for B, and they make their case for B, but they do it either in the wrong way, or they use it, they use terrorism, or they're irritating, or they throw money at the wrong way. So, basically they make B look bad by the virtue of the fact that they are preaching for it in the wrong way. Their method is wrong. Make sense? And therefore, B looks worse. Doesn't matter if B or A is correct. All that matters is B is being stated in a very terrible way, so people tend to be more anti-B than they otherwise would be. Make sense? This is a very common thing in real life, both deliberately and unintentionally. So, I think, this is just my opinion, I think he was a... yeah, he does specifically yell about how we should secede from the Empire, and that would very much be in the Thalmor's best interest. I think he is someone who is a plant, or possibly, even if he's not literally working for the Thalmor, just imagine a Thalmor agent who's like, so, it basically like works up to this guy, drinks up with him, and is like, so, I feel like the citizens of Whiterun have kind of lost their way about Talos. They're all buying into that Thalmor propaganda. Basically, someone pushing him over the edge into being like this. Because I think one way or another, the Thalmor are behind this. It's just a matter if he's deliberately a Thalmor agent, pushed by the Thalmor, or if he's someone... Yeah, there are no Thalmor in the city. That's also something worth noting. Or if he's just here to catch people who are against the Thalmor or pro-Talos worship. That's just my opinion. It's possible he's just a loon. It's kind of irritating because... I mean, he's the core message of what he's talking about is right. Not the rebellion thing, not the secession thing. It's just the fact that Talos does exist. Talos provably exists. Do you know how few provable things exist in this setting? It's not a lot. Talos exists and is magically powerful. Whether he qualifies as a divine or deific, that's more debatable depending on how you define those. But God's sakes, he is real. We meet Talos at least once, probably twice, across the games we've played so far. And you can walk up to a Shrine of Talos. We did this at Markarth in this game, and it blesses us with magical energy. Provable and definable. So... this guy pisses me off. This is the kind of thing... I've actually had this happen occasionally in real life. In fact, I mentioned this regarding something... I'm not even going to bring it up because it'll just get completely waylaid. But I mentioned this during one of my lore weeks. It's like, I actually agree with such and such on this. Not because he's right, and not because he's saying it for the right reasons. And I hate being on the same side as Jackass, but I do agree on this point in this way. I don't think Ulfric's a Thalmor agent at all. I can't see anything about Ulfric making him Thalmor-y. The only way I personally could see Ulfric be on the Thalmor side is if basically they were like, so, you successfully take over the High Kingship, separate from the Empire, we'll go ahead and do a non-aggression treaty. I could see Ulfric trying to treat with them for his own purposes, for his own selfish ends. I could absolutely see that. Whether he keeps to that or not is a little more debatable. And whether or not, he... Yeah. But I can't actually see him as literally being a Thalmor agent, personally. More like... God, I'm trying to think of a good example. God, I can't think of his name. There's an Iranian king during the Byzantine eras, and I can't think of his damn name. And then there was, like, the other king, who wasn't actually his friend and wasn't actually his ally, but the two of them really hated the Byzantines, so they were like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and work together on this one. That kind of a thing. Anyways. Moving on. Heimskr sucks.
He who is both man and divine.
Blah, blah, blah. Did that. Right. I'm joining the companions. That's my next step.
For I am the chosen of...
Oh yeah, by the way, it's worth noting that all of these theories about this guy are probably completely wrong. I'll just go ahead and admit that. Because this guy's name is literally stupid, or whatever it actually translates to be. I can look it up really quick. Hang on. Give me a second. No, it is stupid. I'm right. It literally means stupid in Icelandic. There you go. Anyways, so I was actually right. His name literally means stupid, and he's quoting Michael Kirkbride in character. He's probably just here as a random joke, irritant troll thing. But you know me. In a game like Skyrim, how do I put this? There is no nice way to say this. I feel like they didn't do a lot of under-the-hood stuff for Skyrim, like they do in some of the previous games. And so I have felt the need to basically headcanon some new stuff in under the hood to explain away things that are never explained. That's just my style. But I will admit freely that in the case of Skyrim, a lot of the time when I'm doing that, it is pure headcanon. There's not really a lot of evidence here. Oh, hang on. Let me save really quick.
Holy word.
So if you loot him, he's got booze, a gem, money, a salmon steak, ring, silver gauntlet, bunch of jewelry for some weird reason, and his own monk outfits, and that's it. So, nothing really fantastic note there. So.
Talos the mighty.
Talos the jackass. Sorry.
The unerring.
Actually, I kind of like Talos, so I suppose I shouldn't say that.
Those two at it again. Strike when the shoulder turns. He's giving you openings. Nice.
I'm not a murderer. What are you talking about?
Get in there and push. Just keep
Hey
swinging.
guys, it's everyone's most common wife in the game. No, seriously. I've talked to 5 people that I know in person who, when they went to marry someone, either because they wanted to or for the achievement, they all married Aela. In fact, I'm pretty sure when I married someone to get the achievement, I married Aela. Aela? God, I can't say her name all of a sudden.
A fight.
You guys done, or do I have to murder both of you?
You think you stand a chance?
Oh, for God's sakes. I'm gonna walk over here. Hey, you.
If you wish to hunt with me, your feet need to be quick and your eyes quicker.
But where do you stand on the war?
Kodlak says not to worry about it. I worry that a bunch of snowberries are out there earning glory while we stay out of it. But I will follow the old man's lead.
She's a red... I guess she is a redhead. So, I'd like to join the companions.
We don't just take in any milk drinker who stumbles in. Talk to Kodlak if you think you have what it takes to be a companion.
Okay.
All right, then.
I mean, it's not like anyone is a significant marriage material in this entire game, so shrug.
You're new here. I don't trust the new.
I actually remember Farkos better than I remember Aela, at least as a character. So why'd you join the companions?
Vilkas and I have been here since we were little whelps. Our father Jurgen raised us here. Even Vigner couldn't remember companions younger than us.
So, I'm sorry, who are the companions exactly?
The companions are my family. We fight so that other people don't have to. We bring honor and glory to ourselves and each other.
Almost everything's one.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of reality, be nice to know about that. Truths about the Aedra, that'd be nice. The hell? No. That one. God.
Come on. Watch the foot. Keep your balance.
Get him! Kill him! Watch it!
Why are they still fighting? God. So this is the Fighters Guild of Skyrim. Obviously, the Fighters Guild has basically ceased to properly function. Now, I phrase it that way. There are... Oh... Well, I need to keep my level up until I can find an Argonian in Riften, so... For the moment, the level's staying up. Anyways, so, the Fighters Guild might still exist back in Cyrodiil, and possibly elsewhere, like in High Rock, or That's about it, actually. But for the most part, the Fighters Guild has ceased. It's fallen apart, just like so many other Imperial institutions have, like the Mages Guild and the Thieves Guilds, actually. Now, the Companions, gameplay-wise, basically serves the same general function as the Fighters Guild. You're a hit things guy, or girl, or whatever, or a helicopter, and you want to go hit things and get paid for it, and get equipment for it, and see a story for it. Now, yeah, no kidding, Akatsuki. The Thieves Guild here is a bunch of uncultured swine who are thugs, not thieves, and I'll talk about that later. The Mages Guild was literally self-destructed, to the point where a lot of them were actively killed, and the Fighters Guild functionally doesn't exist anymore and has been supplanted by the Companions. But anyways, I'm getting a little off topic. The Companions are a hunting club mercenary band. Now, I know that's a weird way to phrase that. See, they do actually follow a degree of what I would normally call religious connotations. That's probably the wrong term here, but I'm having trouble coming up with a better one. They obviously have their whole werewolf thing. We'll talk a little bit more about that specifically later. Oh, yeah, and the Dark Brotherhood is basically gone until we show up. Sorry, I have a really weird itch on my bad leg, and it hurts like hell to scratch my bad leg, so you forgive me if I just... there we go. That hurts. Okay. So, the Companions venerate the ancestors. They do have their own code. They do obviously claim to be followers of the precepts set by the 500. Now, we're going to talk very briefly about this. Some time ago, I don't remember when, don't ask, there was a group of Nords, who were also Needs, who were also Atmorans. What do you mean, Tara? I mean, I don't care for the questline. Honestly, a cult of Ysgamor is not a bad way to put that. But once upon a time, there was a group of basically loosely aligned tribes who were basically just heading out on the ocean to see what they could find. They sailed from Atmora. I'm pretty sure it was Atmora. Please, I hope I'm not getting the wrong continent again. I get Atmora and Yakuba confused so many times. What, the individuals, the concept, the quest chain? You gotta help me out here, Tara. Anyways, so they sailed out, just let's see what's out there, and they slammed into Tamriel, basically on the northern shores of Skyrim, and they're like, this is our home, this is our land, this will be wonderful. And then they ran into a group of people called the Snow Elves. Now, the Snow Elves, well, let's just say that it's hard to look down upon the Snow Elves, considering just how badly things went for them, but they kind of called it on themselves, so... See, here's the thing, the Snow Elves were sufficiently arrogant, and we're talking a level of arrogance I usually don't see in fiction, that they legitimately did not recognize these humans, whether they were Needs or Nords or whatever you want to call them, the Atmorans, as sentient sapient beings. They legitimately thought of these people who could talk and walk and trade and interact as beasts. So they started treating them like beasts. That didn't go well. The initial wave of the Atmorans came back, retreated from the northern shores of Skyrim. Then they returned, and when they came back, they brought war to the Snow Elves. And what ensued was an unknown but very long period of warfare in which the Nords, the Atmorans, let's just call them the Atmorans, basically said, oh, we're not sentient, huh? And beat the ever-loving crap out of the Snow Elves. And I mean, they crushed them. It was just this long, slow, bloody, genocidal wave of death. It was probably the first time, this has been debated, so I'll go ahead and give this a debatable, but it was probably the first time that the Atmorans had been this unified as a single military force ever. Now, amongst that group came it came the companions. This is why we're talking about this now. And Ysgamor. Now, Ysgamor... hang on. Ysgamor. There we go. Some people say Ysgamor was actually one of the heroes, capital H. So, in other words, basically a PC. Some people say that he was Talos, or what would become Talos. Some people say he was just a really badass, Nord. Take your pick. I like to think he was just a really badass Nord who looked at the situation, took advantage of it, and said, "Alright, we're gonna go kick your teeth in." I know that's the wrong accent, and I don't care. So he brought back friends, and this is where the companions come from. He brought the great companions who were supposed to bring, So this is when things get a little murky, because we know they Norded them. They absolutely Norded the hell out of the Snow Elves. That war really, 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 really went badly for the Snow Elves. I will actually talk a little bit more about what happened to the Snow Elves later, because it's not really relevant right now. All you need to know is that the Snow Elves really, really, really lost that war. So, now the story is that there were 500 companions. Now, obviously, that's probably an exaggeration or an outright lie, because if you listen to their tales about the companions, most of it sounds very mythy. You know what I mean? Like, oh yes, there were 500 companions, and these 500 brought culture and society and uplifted the Nords and gave us a great kingdom, and, it's... You know what I'm talking about, right? It's kind of like how, well, okay, Arthurian isn't a good example, but it's kind of like the King Arthur thing. Oh yes, King Arthur was this great guy, and he had his Knights of the Round Table, and it's exactly this number, and blah, 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 right? Don't mistake me, Ysgamor existed, the companions existed, but some of the details are a little bit murkier. Regardless, they called them the 500 companions. And the 500 companions and their 10,000 buddies... Yeah, the 300 Spartans, that's actually probably a better parallel than King Arthur. The 500 companions basically tamed the whole of the land and established what would be eventually the first true High Kingdom of Skyrim. None of this was called that yet. So... And from that point on, the Thalmor were filled with fear. Thank you very much, Fullbeard. Though I never asked for those paid subs, I do still appreciate them. Thank you. Now, what Necro says is the next thing I wanted to comment on, because it reminds me a little bit of... Man, that doesn't quite fit as well as I thought it would. There are several cases in history where there's been a squabbling in states, and then something has unified them against this significant force. And I had an example, then I realized it's actually wrong, so I'm going to not use that example. But that's pretty much exactly what's happening. The Atmorans were basically going through a Sengoku Jidai period. The warring states period. They were just... Wait, what? The Snow Elves just are exterminating us? Oh, that ain't happening! Now, this is actually kind of significant. Because if you pay attention to Nordic culture here in Skyrim, there's not really a Nordic culture here in Skyrim. And it's actually one of the few things I like about the story of Skyrim, the game. Because, that's a good one. The Europeans, once the Ottomans finally started really turking it up. You got the whole, honor, Sovngarde thing, but if you actually pay attention, there's corrupt officials, there's people who don't care about things, there's people who like fighting for fun, there's people who don't want to ever see a fight again, there's people who are basically the mafia, there's people who are railroad barons, because we've got both levels of extreme. There's people who are totally cool with all sorts of other things going on. You get my point, right? There's actually a surprising variety of different people here in Skyrim, even if you just look at the Nords. But that's my point. The Atmorans, even though they were unified against this singular force, were never unified truly as a people. The only group that continues to carry forward this cult, as was mentioned in chat earlier, about the unification in the Nordic way and the veneration of Ysgamor, is these guys, bringing it all back to the quest we're about to do. Most of the other Nords are just kind of doing their own thing. And there are plenty of Nords who are selfish or short-sighted, or just human, if you want to put it into such terms. And I kind of like that. So, anyways. So, let's talk to the cult of Ysgamor here, shall we? You.
But I still hear the call of the blood.
We all do. It is our burden to bear. But we can overcome.
Apple pie.
You have my
I
brother
want
and
that
I,
apple
obviously.
pie.
But I don't know if the rest will go along quite so easily.
Leave that to me. A stranger comes to our hall.
Yeah, that's me. What are you going to tell me? Who are the companions?
Your question carries more weight than you may know, newcomer. The sort of thing some of us spend our lives pondering. The difference between a noble band of warriors and a ragged bunch of assassins is as thin as a blade's edge.
We'll talk about the werewolf thing in just a minute.
I try to hold
Don't worry.
us
We'll get to it.
the
We'll
right
get to it.
path.
So, I do like this guy, Kodlak. He's cool. He's probably the only guy I legitimately like amongst the companions. Going back to Taro's question earlier, because I don't really like the companions. I feel like they're a little bit too meh, except for this guy. I do like him. The rest of them are... How do I phrase this? Oh God, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. They feel a little bit too... like they're basically one step away from being just thugs or brigands, but they have one thing that they use to keep themselves from going over that line. And so, and that's like the only thing that's roping them into civilization, if that makes any sense. And yeah, there's battering rams is a great way to put it. Just the, oh, we're not supposed to kill those guys. Sorry, I won't happen again. You know, it bothers me a little bit because, and I hate to say this, but they remind me more than anything of a less competent Blackwood company. Because they're not really at, like, we don't really see a lot of this, as we'll see going through this quest chain, but they're a lot less picky about what kind of jobs they take. They're not the Fighters Guild, where you have to be above board, has to follow Imperial law, has to not be something horribly illegal or dangerous or stupid. It's just, oh, you want some muscle over there? Okay, we can do that. It's going to cost you 500 drakes or septums, or what the hell we call it up here. There is probably at least part of this is caused by the werewolf curse, absolutely. No, they're not as evil as the Blackwood Company. I absolutely agree with that. I'm not trying to imply that they're evil, just that they are less... Like I said, I'm having trouble putting a phrase on this. I don't want to say they're less good. It's more like they're less... professional? Yeah, average mercenaries is actually probably a good way to put that. They are mercenaries who happen to have, like, imagine if in real life, just hear me out. Imagine if in real life there was a mercenary company, which were basically just average mercs, but they all were like descendants of the 300 Spartans, and the mercenary company called themselves, you know, the Spartans after the 300 Spartans. And they were, you know, they all followed the veneration and precepts of the 300 Spartans. I know this isn't like a one-to-one parallel, but that's kind of the direction here. They're still basically just thugs. They're just thugs with a little bit more cohesion than guys out in the field attacking random travelers. You know what I mean? I suppose straight-up mercenaries is probably the best parallel I can make here. Now, I've actually heard it argued, and I'm not willing to give judgment on this one, but I've heard it argued that the companions are badly written. Because of the... Yeah, SAS mercs, that's another good one. I've heard it argued that these guys should not be the way they are. Like, for them to be a functional and surviving organization, and to have survived for so long, that the way they function is not a sustainable business strategy, basically. And SAS is a British thing. I actually don't remember what it stands for right now. But it's the British... Look up British SAS World War II. So... Anywho. Moving along. I want to join the Companions. Special Air Service. Thank you.
Would you now? Here, let me have a look at you. Yes, perhaps. A certain strength of spirit.
Master, you're not truly considering accepting him.
Now, that being said, I do like him, not Viklas. Kodlak.
I am nobody's master, Vilkas. And last I checked, we had some empty beds in Jorvaskr for those with a fire burning in their hearts.
Apologies, but perhaps this isn't the time. I've never even heard of this outsider.
Sometimes the famous come to us. Sometimes men and women come to us to seek their fame. It makes no difference. What matters is their heart.
Oh, I've got one of those. Hang on, hang on. It's under ingredients, I think. Here you go.
And their arm.
Of course. How are you in battle, boy?
I can handle myself.
That may be so. This is Vilkas. He will test your arm. Vilkas, take him out to the yard.
Yes, I literally picked up that heart just for that gag. They're very Nordic, absolutely. Now, what would make more sense to me... You remember... No, this is the Lorengonian. The Arshiangoni ends up being Sheogorath. Hey, roaring. What would make more sense to me is if the companions basically weren't a singular organization, or this was just the latest companions. Think kind of like the Dark Brotherhood was back in Oblivion, where periodically they just kind of kill themselves. Or they just kind of self-destruct, you know? Like, it would make more sense to me. It would make more sense to me if they had basically like the companions, yes, and then, you know, like they had one really big loss, for example, and so the companions kind of fell out of favor, and then a few decades later, or maybe even, you know, just years later, someone's like, we should reform the companions, yes, and so they make a new form of the companions, and then like they descend into infighting and die, but then a new guy comes along like 30 years later and says, yes, we will make the new companions, and so forth and so on. You get the point, right? So that would make more sense to me, rather than just this group that has supposedly been unified and carrying on for in the 5,000 year range. It's a really really long time. With or without the Hist? Because without the Hist, the Blackwood Company is just a bunch of regular thugs with slightly better than average equipment. But yeah, to give you an idea, these events were happening before the Battle of Red Mountain, which was 4,200 and some odd years ago.
Fresh blood. Hope you know how to handle yourself.
So, yeah, it's been a long frickety time, is what I'm trying to say. But, you know, I think the Companions could beat the Blackwood Company. Ignoring the werewolf thing. I was actually ignoring the werewolf thing.
The old man said to have a look at you. So, let's do this.
Okay.
Just have a few swings at me so I can see your form. Don't worry. I can take it.
You sure?
Now that's impressive. You're mightier than you look.
I'm glad you like it, Fulbeard.
You might just make it. But for now, you're still a whelp to us, new blood. So you do what we tell you. Here's my sword. Go take it up to Yorland to have it sharpened. And be careful. It's probably worth more than you are.
I'm wearing a full suit of glass armor, dude. Which is worth more than you are, by the way. Okay, super quick, Daddy Duck. The Night Mother may or may not be a metaphysical thing, may or may not be a magically enchanted form of undead, or may and may not just be a title and a rank within the Dark Brotherhood. I know that probably doesn't answer your question, but that is the truth. Basically, each game has had a slightly different take on what exactly the Night Mother is and how the Dark Brotherhood operates. So, I like to think it's the rank, personally.
What brings you here?
Vilkas wanted me to get his sword sharpened.
I'm guessing you're the newcomer, then?
Yeah. I'm guessing he always sends newcomers on errands.
Oh, don't worry too much about it. They were all whelps once. They just might not like to talk about it. And don't always just do what you're told. Nobody rules anybody in the Companions.
Okay. Hold up, who's in charge, though, if nobody runs anybody?
Well, I'm not sure how they've managed it, but they have. No leader since Ysgamor. Kodlak is the Harbinger, and he's a sort of advisor for the whole group. But every man is his own. Every woman, her own.
That is a terrible way to form a mercenary company, and goes back to what I was talking about earlier. So are you a companion, sir?
Not actually a companion myself, but none of them know how to work a forge properly, and I'm honored to serve them. My name is Eorlin Greymane. I work the Skyforge. Best steel in all of Skyrim. All of Tamriel.
And a site of so many mods.
I have a favor to ask.
Yeah, what's that? Dude, I may be a terrible person, but I hope that whatever's going with you, Roaring, and Lord knows I've seen some crap myself, I hope it works out for you, dude. You know what? Okay. The Skyforge. Eons ago, in the great darkness beyond, the gods waged an eternal war, but then one of them accidentally cut the left fingernail off of the other god's pinky, and the pinky fingernail came swirling down through the cosmos, and lo, it landed into this very spot, and the world was crafted around it, for the world could not move the pinky fingernail, and thus becometh the Skyforge. Yeah, no. That's the Skyforge. There is actually a reasonable amount of evidence that this is a magically enchanted forge, that something about it makes it just better. Like, you can make better equipment, and that equipment will be improved more at the Skyforge. In gameplay terms, you have to actually earn up to the right to use the Skyforge. And it's one of the reasons why so many mods use the Skyforge to craft super special armor that's added for cosmetics or for gameplay purposes or whatever. Yeah, supposedly this Skyforge was here before the town or the city or anything else was here. Realistically speaking, looking at this, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was basically an elvish thing. That it was a magically enchanted elvish forge. Ysgamor and his horde swooped in, and then they found this awesome forge, and then a settlement kind of built up around it, you know, like a few tents, and then like trade because people were going through here, and you could see where my theory goes. But that is pure theory. I don't actually know. That's my take on it. The only thing we know is that it is some kind of better than usual forge. Either because its engineering is fantastic, or because it's magically enchanted, or because it's the fingernail of the gods. Who frickin' knows? And I gotta go through the whole conversation again.
Don't worry. And don't always just do what you're told. Nobody rules anybody but companions. Not. My name is Eorlin Greymane. I have a favor to ask.
Okay, here we go. What's the favor?
I've been working on a shield for Aela.
Okay.
My wife is in mourning, and I need to get back to her soon. I'd be much obliged if you could take this to Aela for me.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
That's a good man.
And yeah, there's also the Moon Forge, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And here's actually what the Skyforge looks like. Again, not like... It's not super elven, but I got nothing, really. It's also possible this is just some... Well, no, it isn't. I got nothing. I've given you what I got, guys. I give up.
You're a talk.
You look off.
That guy just said I'm a talkative one, aren't I? I need to go kill him. I need to kill him. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I need to go see a shrine of Talos, though, soon. I didn't plan to do the Greymane quest. We could...
If you wish to hunt with me, your feet need to be quick and your eyes quicker.
All these younglings scampering.
If you wish to hunt with me, you need to put more clothes on.
Ysgamor himself wouldn't have the patience to deal with all the rabble around here.
I have your shield.
Ah, good. I've been waiting for this. Are you new here?
I told you. This is the whelp that Vilkas mentioned.
Okay, so the reason I was debating that quest is because it actually, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the quest I'm thinking of, it dovetails perfectly into the main quest one, right? So I guess I was planning not to do it because I wasn't sure how to stagger that properly, but I could just try to pick up the quest and then ignore it until we get to the main quest, and then, as part of the main quest, rescue him.
Ah, yes. I heard you gave him quite a thrashing.
Yeah, one shot.
Don't let Vilkas catch you saying that.
Do you think you could handle Vilkas in a real fight?
I don't care for boasting.
Ah, a man of action. Here, let's have Farkas show you where you'll be resting your head.
Farkas. Did you call me?
Of course we did, Icebrain. Show this new blood where the rest of the whelps sleep.
New blood? Oh, hello. I'm Farkas. Come, follow me.
Oogie. You know, a couple lozenges will fix that up in just a few... I mean...
Skjor and Aella like to tease me, but they're good people. They challenge us to be our best.
Cool, cool.
What kind of weapon do you prefer?
Nice to have a new face around. It gets boring here sometimes. I hope we keep you. This can be a rough life. The quarters are up here. Just pick a bed and fall in it when you're tired.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Thalmor will keep the place clean. She always has. Alright, so here you are. Looks like the others are eager to meet you. Come to me or Aella if you're looking for work. Once you've made a bit of a name for yourself, Skjor and Vilkas might have things for you to do. Good luck. Welcome to the Companions.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're looking for something to do, we've gotten a letter about someone needing some muscle right here in Whiterun.
Really?
I don't know what the fight is about, and that's not our business anyway.
You know what that line right there? That's going back to what I was talking about earlier. The Fighters Guild... I probably sound a little bit too pro-Fighters Guild here, but just to highlight the difference, the Fighters Guild wouldn't do that. If you came up to the Fighters Guild, especially when they were at their height, and said, hey, I want you to go and fight for me. Okay, what's the fight about? Oh no, I can't tell you. The Fighters Guild will say, okay, next please. Because that's not cool. That's not how they operate. Now, it can be debated that that's not why they're not that way in lore. That the only way they're saying that way is because this is Radiant quests.
I just need you to go out there, look tough, and scare this milk drinker into submission. No more than that. I don't want to hear about a killing, understand?
Okay.
Get to it then.
And that's why I compare them to the Blackwood, by the way. But, again, not as bad. Not as bad. You know what? That's
You still need to prove yourself.
Talos, the unerring. Talos, the amazing. Talos, the super awesome. Talos with the glorious hair. Talos with the amazing pecs. Talos with the...
We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Hello, I'm here to intimidate you.
If it's work you need, how about chopping up some wood for the fires?
Yeah, I've been sent to resolve a dispute.
You can't scare me into submission. Let's go. Come on, let's see what you're made of. Yeah. That's all you got? You're tougher than you look. You got me, fair and square.
You know what you have to do.
Fine, I'll take care of it. Just please leave me alone.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Now tell me the story of what just happened. Go on. I'm waiting. I have heard many arguments and discussions over the years about Radiant quests. Radiant quests, it's kind of a buzzword, but let's just say it what it is. It's randomized tasks. I prefer to think of them as tasks. because they're not quests. A quest, by definition, in my definition, involves story. It involves some aspect of, actual content. A task is something you do because you want to grind up money, or because you want to grind up experience, or because you want to grind up rep, or because it's just plain padding. Bad padding, gristle padding, right? That's tasks. Now, tasks can and do serve their purpose, but randomized tasks, that's where things get a little bit trickier, because randomized tasks are literally just go to, do, come back, with absolutely no story whatsoever. There is no story here. We were sent to resolve a dispute, which happened to be the local tavern keep. We don't know what the dispute is. We don't know what the resolution is. If you'll notice, our dialogue option was literally, you know what to do. Not anything of any substance whatsoever. There's no character building here. There's no world building here. There's no thematic significance. There's no difficult gameplay concepts or anything that might engage us from a playing perspective. It's just done. And I think that is probably the best way I could ever explain why I'm very anti-Radiant quests. And I want to stress this. I'm against Radiant quests from a philosophical perspective. Okay? I legitimately think Radiant quests either shouldn't exist at all or should be done in a way that they basically have never been done. Now, Radiant tasks can function in games that aren't RPGs. There is such a thing as a roguelike, which is basically just Radiant gaming in general. But I've never seen, like Zowan just gave a decent example of something you could do with a Radiant quest. Have a bundle of people, like a pool of people you could fight in like an arena, and therefore it randomly picks one for an arena fight. That would be a decent way to utilize the Radiant quest thing. At that point, it's not even really a Radiant quest, but at least that would be some use for the randomization in quest design. This is garbage, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I know I don't want to talk ill of this game. I know I said that earlier, but God's sakes, I don't like this at all. I never have. The only way this could be worse is if it was a settlement. And here, let me mark it on your map for you, okay? It's especially aggravating because it's basically mandatory to get to the real meat, the actual story quests, and there's... This is going to sound weird, but it actually pisses me off the more they disguise Radiant quests. Let me give you a quick example, and I know I've said this before. The Preston stuff with the settlements, when I got the first one, when I got the first settlement quest about... That's true, Django. In Fallout 4, I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm with that. I'll go help that settlement. All right, and I did a little mini quest and defended them and set up the defenses, and they were like, yes, we are with the Minutemen, and I'm like, sweet. Then I went back, and he's like, yep, I found another settlement, and that's pretty much the second time I noticed, hang on a second. He's not even, like, naming these properly. He's just like, hey, you gotta go to this area and get this. And there was no story there. It was just, go to this place, go to this settlement. I'm like, okay. So I did the second one, and it was exactly the same thing, just in a new location. Then I went back and he gave me a third one. That pissed me off. Like, I was legitimately excited about the idea of, for lack of a better way to put it, slowly conquering the wasteland. Yeah, I know, but whatever, that's what I was thinking. Let's expand our territory, let's unify for common protection, let's do this. And instead it's just go to, do, come back. It's pure fluff and padding and garbage, and I hate it! Now, let me go ahead and talk about this a little bit, because I understand, I really, really do understand, that I'm not going to watch this video from Zowan, but I'm going to click it to maybe watch it later. Let me mute it really quick. Mute. There we go. Oh, I've seen it, Zowan. I've seen it. I've linked that so many times. So, I understand that time and money are finite. I do. I get that. So, I understand that it does take time, more than any other resource. It takes time to do manually generated quests. That's what I like to call them nowadays. Manually crafted content is something I'm hugely in favor of, But I also acknowledge that good manually generated content, manually crafted content, takes time. Because you don't just say, okay, right off the top of my head, so the innkeeper, she made a bet with someone, and that put her into a bit of a gambling debt. And as a result, she was talking around the tavern, trying to talk up some local treasure that people could go get, and that would generate more business, so they would come to her tavern more, and she could generate more money to pay off the debt. And one of the people who went looking for that treasure actually ended up getting injured or killed, and so someone then hired the companions to send someone over to rough her up and tell her to stop spreading literal lies and rumors in order to generate business. So we're sent here. Do-do-do-do. She's like, okay, I'll stop telling the lies and rumors. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it would get people killed. We go back, bam, story! Okay? That was literally off the top of my head right now. And I already just answered your question, Bad Wolf. Now, that's not the best quest in the world, what I just told you. I understand that it would take time to go back and write the dialogue for that, and then take time to go back and polish it a little bit more, and then take time to go back and add some few things, and maybe like add an NPC out there who's just dead who you can just run into, which might lead this direction, you know, etc., etc., etc. You could do that. That's possible. And it would take time, and I get that. But in my opinion, if you have reached the point where you are where you don't have the time to generate the content you want to, you have made a mistake somewhere. Either you need to push back your release date, or you need to you need to talk to the people who are telling you this game must be X length, right? And tell them, no, we can only do that if you give us X time to make it X length. Because this is just padding. Now, this is a relatively minor example. The thing I just did, that's a pretty minor example. But then there's the random dungeon radiant quests. And then there's the random thieving radiant quest. And then there's the random assassination radiant quest. And there's others. And... ooh, crab claws. You get my point? This is the kind of thing... ooh, butter. No lemons, though. No lemons. Limes. Much better. I mean, kind of is Joe Nutrient. I mean, there is some decent story in Skyrim. I've shared some of it with you guys. But I feel like I'm not making my point as clearly as I'd like to. So please forgive me for continuing to stay on this topic. But the closest argument I have ever heard for Radiant quests in this format, like what we just did, is, well, the executives or publishers said the game has to be certain length, and so they added in padding. And so we added in padding. And that is the closest thing to an argument, the legitimate argument I have ever heard for this type of Radiant Quest. Is that it's a horrible thing that we have to accept because business people suck. That's the best argument I've ever heard for this stuff. They could still do something with that. I just told you how to do something with that. The1 gave an idea just earlier about what they could do with that to flesh this out more. I mean, God's sakes, I know that voice acting is actually kind of a thing, okay? So if you don't want to have voice-acted lines for this, I could at least see that make sense for Radiant quests, okay? But writing dialogue into a text file and then putting that in as a book in the game is incredibly easy and simple to do. So, as the one suggested, why not just be like, alright, we don't know what their issue is and we don't not want to know, but in case you do, here's all the details. You have received note about go after innkeeper. Open note. Oh, okay, so the innkeeper is telling tall tales, which is getting people killed. We need someone to go over and convince her down. Okay. Go talk to her. Yeah, I did. And then, you know, right? Anyways, I think I've made my point. I'm sorry for going off on this point, but let me make it clear that Radiant quests wouldn't just be a negative in Skyrim if I was rating this. It would probably be 2 negatives. 1, for the fact that everything I said before, but 2, for the fact that they still had a relatively easy way to make these better, and didn't. And never did. Like, historically speaking, they never bothered to polish out or add anything to these Radiant quests.
You know nothing. Nothing of our struggles, our suffering.
Nothing. And what of my son, What of Thorald? Is he nothing? So don't talk to me about suffering.
Your son chose his side and he chose poorly, and now he's gone. Such is the way of war. The sooner you accept his loss, the better.
I will never accept his death. My son still lives, I feel it in my heart. So tell me, Battleborns, where is he? Where are you holding my Thorald?
Do you believe this old hag?
Oh yeah, negative to voice acting, because they have one of the most skilled, prolific voice actors in the history of voice acting, Jim Cummings, playing like 3 or 4 random NPCs who barely matter in this game. I mean, come on! They bring in the guy who plays Balthier, whose name I can never think of, I think it's Liam Bryan, who is a great voice actor, and Jim Cummings! And they don't use them on any major characters with significant amounts of dialogue. What the hell is wrong with you people?
Holding him? Why, I've got him in my cellar. He's my prisoner. Face it, Carl. Your stupid son is dead. He died a storm-cloaked traitor. And you best keep your mouth shut before you suffer the same.
Come on, Father. There's nothing more to be said here.
Promise you'll actually purchase something for
Yeah, they did get Max von Sydow, and he's basically the only big-name actor they got for this one. I know they got the guy to play Ulfric, who a lot of people made a big buzz about. It's funny, because I can't stand Ulfric's voice acting. Now, see, that would make sense, Fullbeard, if they did that consistently. And yet, how many... Yes, Necro. And yet, how many times have we heard... like... Earlier in Markarth, we literally talked to one guy, and he sent us to a second guy who was voiced by the exact same actor. Oh, that's true. Christopher Plummer's in this, too. I forgot about that. Anyways. So, theories about the giants. Yeah, they needed a new, like, Nordic-type enemy, so they put giants in.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard.
Oh, you meant a lore theory. Right. There's, let's see. Lore.
Ysgamor says that I have the strength of Ysgamor, and my brother has his smarts.
Oh my god, Tigzar. So anyways, I did your stupid job.
I figured you had it in you. Nicely done.
Can I have, like, a real job now?
Ysgamor was looking for you earlier.
Oh, thank God.
Don't know. He just said he needed to talk to you before you do anything else.
Okay.
I don't like making him angry, but there is some work for you if you want it.
Okay.
I've been tending to the warriors of your Vaskr for as long as I can remember.
I'd be dead if not.
Yeah, no kidding, Malachor. They really do try to push the Stormcloaks, which is really
Come
weird.
to me with questions. I know our history almost
There
as
you
well
are.
as Vignar by now. Except
I did.
remember it.
Your time, it seems, has come.
What do you mean?
Last week, a scholar came to us. He said he knew where we could find another fragment of Wuthrad. He seemed a fool to me, but if he's right, the honor of the Companions demand that we seek it out.
Okay. I'd be honored to retrieve it.
There's a fine line between respect and bootlicking, new blood. But I like your spirit. We've decided this will be your trial. Do well, and you'll be counted among the Companions.
Cool.
Farkas will be your shield sibling on this venture, whelp.
Also cool.
He'll answer any questions you have. Try not to disappoint, or to get him killed.
I won't get him killed. Maybe. Okay. Gonna go get some ancient artifact, which they don't explain what it is, of course.
I see everything.
I hope you've read it yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
So I'm told. Let's see if you impress.
Yep. I'm sorry, why is that? They call this my trial?
I want you to make sure you're honorable.
Honorable.
If you are honorable and strong, then I can call you brother.
You know, I knew an entire group of people once who really banged on about honor. They used cloaking devices to do hidden attacks on people in order to gain honor in combat by attacking shipping lines. Just point it out. So what is this Wuthrad?
Ysgamor was the hero who started the Companions. Wuthrad was his weapon. He came from the ancient homeland and killed all the elves.
All of them?
But not all of them, because some of them are still here.
Oh, sorry, some of them. Gotcha. Well, I'll meet you there.
Don't delay, Shield brother.
I'm just pointing out that every time we have a fictional race that bangs on about honor, they're almost universally not honorable. I also don't think the companions are honorable, but that's another thing. Shield brother's a cool term. I like that. It even has connotations I like. Shield, shield, you know.
Looks like someone's been digging here, and recently.
Then I'll kill them all!
Tread lightly.
Oh, okay, we won't kill them all. Should we kill them all? We'll kill them all! With fear! Oh yeah, if you're wondering why that's so much louder, it's because I have the volume on OBS turned way, 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 way up so that you can hear their voices. And there's nothing I can do about that. Except for turn it back down so you can't hear their voices. So, take it as you will. That's up to you guys. I can barely hear them as is. I'm basically reading the subtitles. Thank you very much, Next Nordic. I don't ever ask for the pay subs, but I do still appreciate them. Thank you. Alright, let's kill stuff. Yeah, death to the Draugrs! Da, 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 da. You know what I like best about the Draugrs? Based on what we understand, it's likely the Draugrs have no sentience or sapience at all. That they're literally just walking corpses. Which brings to mind a question. Why are they literally walking corpses? I mean, I actually do know the answer to my own question. It's just funny to me. Can someone do me a really big favor and look up an ID code on a frickin' torch, please? Thank you. Whoops, wrong one. Hello? Hello? Yes, I do remember that, Django. Hello? Oh, hang on, bot. It's okay, I'm playing a game I can actually alt-tab in. Boop. Thank you, War Wager. And what? 1, 4. Oh, I did do that wrong. 1D, 4. EC. There we go. Honor's a point of view, Anakin. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Torch, 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 torch. Torch, 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 torch. Torch, 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 torch. Torch! Torch. There we go.
Now look what you've gotten yourself into. No worries. Just sit tight. I'll find the release.
Okay.
What was that?
Oh no!
It's time to die, dog.
It's the Silver Hand!
I knew you'd be coming here. Your mistake, companion.
Which one is that?
Doesn't matter. He wears that armor, he dies.
You don't like glass armor?
You will make for an excellent story.
So, let's talk about the Silver Hand. They're dumb, and they're badly written. Any questions?
None of you will be alive to tell it.
Oh yeah, sorry, Farkas is a werewolf. Spoiler alert. So let me explain what I mean by they're badly written. So, oh god!
Your dedication will be rewarded.
That's what I mean. Any questions? I wasn't expecting a donation. Hang on a second here. Damn it, someone! Sadly, we get so little about Breton culture, I'm not sure I can add anything to it. The Bretons I would argue don't have a culture. Like, the closest thing I would say that's actually a culture of the Bretons is that they assimilate into other cultures. So, that's about all I've got of the Bretons. It's funny, because I actually like the Bretons. They're probably my, I'd say, 4th favorite race. I know that doesn't sound like much. But, you know, so we got the Argonians. They're awesome. We got the Khajiit, and then we've got the Red Guards. Those are my favorites by far. All 3 of those guys are awesome. But then we got the Bretons. And pretty much every Breton we meet is pretty cool. Also, it's pretty likely Tiber Septim was a Breton. I still hold true to that one, but anyways. Also, would you like to put that towards any of our premiere runs? We've got a whole bunch that aren't funded right now. What? The world. No. Talos is... no, we don't know what Tiber Septim was. It's also possible there were multiple people who went by Tiber Septim. So it's possible that there's multiple of them. But there's basically no real evidence that Tiber Septim is any given race, except for the fact that there's 2 little bits of information about him being of Mer and Man, and of him being... you know, I actually can't remember. There's the second thing, which means it would be more likely for him to be a Breton. Who knows? Anyways. Oh yeah, so, right, let's talk about the Silver Hand here. You got it, so I'll jot that down real quick. So the Silver Hand are bandits. Oh, and they're evil. What else? Where's Metro? Where's Metro? Where the hell's Metro? There it is. Metro Exodus. Is that out yet? There we go. An Orc Tiber Septim. I mean, that is not exactly impossible. Yeah, it's true. It's also possible that Tiber Septim was literally an oversoul. It's also possible that Tiber Septim was a god before he became Tiber Septim, and then he went back to being a god. So we really don't know, is what I'm trying to say. The Silver Hand, they really are just bandits. They are bandits who hate werewolves. And when I say bandits, I want to stress I mean Elder Scrolls bandits, aka attack on sight, no subtlety, turn on each other at will, and also very stupid. I covered this so much during the Oblivion. So many quests in the Oblivion lore run were talking about just how dumb bandits are. Well, imagine all that, but without the characterization, and that's what we got in Skyrim. And that's the Silver Hand. And that's why I say they're badly written, because they're not written. They're not a faction. They just happen to be the antagonists for the intro part of the companion storyline, and otherwise, as was pointed out in the chat, basically just trash encounters. There's nothing there. There's no... We started off as a group of bandits because we couldn't get legitimate work, but then we ended up fighting a werewolf, and so we decided to start pooling our money together and become werewolf hunters, right? I mean, you could go somewhere with that kind of a story. You remember how much vampire hunting was kind of a thing, and is a thing in this game, too. Why not make werewolf hunting a thing? A group of bandits who decided to make their mark by specifically specializing in hunting werewolves. Tracking them down, using, you know, silver weapons, blah, blah, blah. You could do something with that. You know, have it be something that built up over time. Or maybe, you know, they received, like, God, I don't frickin' know, a mission from another Daedric Lord. Something, instead of just... You know what I hate? Werewolves. Let's go kill them! Yeah.
I hope I didn't scare you.
Hang on. I keep forgetting that my character in an Elder Scrolls game is a moron.
What was that?
It's a blessing given to some of us. We can be like wild beasts. Fearsome.
Holy moly. You gonna make me into a werewolf?
Oh no. Only the Circle have the beast blood. Prove your honor to be a companion. Eyes on the prey, not the horizon. We should keep moving. Still the Draugr to worry about.
Okay. I'm cool with this. Even though in certain other games, if you turned into a werewolf in front of people, you would instantly be wanted and hated by everyone forever. Because werewolves are really, really horrible. But no, yeah, sure. Let's just breeze right by that. Players like to play werewolves, and that's why werewolves are in this game. So I mentioned earlier I talked about what the hell happened between the Ysgamor thing and the werewolf aspect of the companions. So let's just be blunt. I'm sorry, I hate to be so negative in this section, but I actively do not like the companions quest chain. It was actually the first quest chain I did in when I first played this game for the first time. And it was massively disappointing. Because there's no meat here. I don't have a lot of lore to tell you. There's no good character moments. There's no particular strong plot arc here. There's no thematic oomph or anything of substance to this. I mean, they're quests. It's better than Radiant quests, right? So there's some quests, and there's werewolves, and that's cool. But, you know, not a lot of meat on these bones, is what I'm trying to say. Now, obviously, I'm one-shotting all these guys, but even if I didn't have a Doom weapon, these are not hard encounters.
What was that?
If I was to put it into words, I would say that at some point in the development of Skyrim, it felt like they looked at what they had and they said, okay, we need to have werewolves in this game. It was a widely requested feature. So we need to add werewolves, and we don't have a fighters guild. And so they basically just kind of threw them together. And this is what we got. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The companion quest chain is actually super quick. You'll notice we are literally on the second quest of the companion's quest chain. And he has already revealed that he's a werewolf to us. Second quest. You could really stretch this to say it's our third quest, if you want to count the walk around town and talk to people as the first quest. So at absolute latest, we've got walk around the thing, talking to the companions. No requirements, by the way, for joining. You can just sign up. So you walk around and talk to people, then you go do a Radiant quest, and then we find out about werewolves. At my most generous, this is the third quest in the chain.
I'll show you a real fight. Enough. Let's see what you...
Okay, that's a really interesting question, Zuan.
Is someone there?
The only way I can answer that is by talking about the language I've been working on, where I've been basing the grammar off of a combination of Japanese and Greek. It depends on the kind of language you want to make. You can either... So basically, all languages follow into one of two relatively generic types of qualifications. One has a sword in their gut, and the other doesn't. No, seriously though. One type of language is more descriptive, but far more difficult to understand and learn. And the other type of language is one that is what is usually called a trade language, which is designed by nature to be very easy to pick up and very easy to, to give to other races so that they could all use it, right? Ergo, if you want to sit down and design a language, that's the very first decision you have to make. Do you want it to be a complex, multiple variants type of language? English is a good example of this. Or do you want it to be a language that is very defined and easy to pick up and learn? I'd have to think about one for that as in real life, but you get the point. And I know we all make fun of English, but the reality is English is a language that is, incidentally or not, allows for a huge amount of shadings in word choice. We can say 15 different words that all mean good. And we could add words onto that to add like another 50 different meanings of exact shadings of good. And that is the benefit of English as a language. So, that's what I mean by that kind of descriptive language. Because English is actually a very complex language. And it doesn't help that it literally doesn't follow its own rules all the time. But anyways.
The key to that door has to be around here somewhere.
Key to door. Key to door. Key to door.
Every door has a key, says Vilkas. Sometimes he's wrong, but look around anyway.
Okay, I'll look around anyway. Not a key. German's actually an interesting language to talk about because there's a reason some German words are, well, that's a wrong way to put that. Some German phrases are super long. It's because one of the ways, and I'm speaking of this from an amateur's understanding, but one of the ways German as a language differentiates itself, or I'm saying that wrong, differentiates tone or specifics, is to basically just add words onto other words. So you get a word like, instead of saying very slightly covered in just a little bit of, it's, you know, German, but it's basically one word that describes that same general, that same specific concept. Although, from my understanding, several Germanic languages do that in general, so... I'm sure Tigs are, and I don't care. This is not a pissing match. You can do that elsewhere, okay? I got other things on my mind. English is based on basically everything. And I mean that with sincerity. English is effectively the aggregate language, and it's one of the reasons it's such a mess. Oh no. Like, it's not literally every language, but there are many, many languages that have contributed to English. Oh my god, why are there so many Draugrs here? It's almost like these are actually the Draugrs who are specifically enchanted to defend the fragment of Ysgamor's weapon, which laid unfound for literally 5 millennia in this cave just outside the city.
This should be...
This is a good time to talk about something. This is almost assuredly a result of budgeting issues. Either time budget or money budget. But there are several lines of dialogue and several bits of text, mostly books, in the game which make it... Oh, God's sakes, really? We done? We're done. Okay. I don't blame you, Zawan. That's not really... There are plenty of languages I don't like. Like Japanese! At least spoken Japanese. Anyways, but there's a decent amount of evidence that the game was basically supposed to be, for lack of a better way to put it, larger than it is. Skyrim is actually fairly small, especially given how large Skyrim the province is supposed to be and how large previous Elder Scrolls games have been. I don't remember the exact size. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit bigger than Morrowind, but it is smaller than Oblivion. Although, don't quote me on that. Because, I'm just gonna walk over here really quick. And, yeah, you see that city that's in range? That's the size of maybe a third of my neighborhood. Yeah. There are several mods that add some cut content to the game. Yeah, whole quest and stuff, too. That's true, James Carmichael. I do need to acknowledge that. That wouldn't surprise me, Tara. The Dark Brotherhood quest is one that I could say pretty definitively is a good one. I don't have a lot of difficulties in saying, yeah, Dark Brotherhood's good stuff. Every other quest chain... Like, let me explain a little bit about the narrative arc we've got going on here. Because we've got the companions, and I've kind of told you their backstory, you know. People have... They've got a rep, right? The companions have a rep, and so it's like, oh, yes, companions, blah, blah, blah. And so it's logical why quite a few people would hire them. They probably don't hurt for business. Because, you know, you're going to hire the companions or someone else, right? So I bring this up because we've got this companions group, and they've got this widespread reputation. And yet we never find out how hated or loved or even acknowledged as existing that werewolves are in the rest of the world. Like, usually when werewolves come up in other works in Elder Scrolls, they don't call them werewolves because they don't know what werewolves are, right? Like, it would be nice... that could be Marto, yeah. It would be nice if... I don't understand your question, Venters. It would be nice if there was some information on exactly what they think of werewolves, or if they're a known thing, or if they're a hated thing, or if everyone in Skyrim's just suddenly cool with werewolves. You know, something. Smaller map, but more content per square kilometer. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that really quick. First of all, this certainly looks busy, but how much content is here, really? Like, how about this little stretch of land I just crossed? So we've got the Giant's Cave. We've got the fort there that has that one quest about it. We've got Redoran's Retreat, to the little thing we'll be doing as well. We've got the Silent Moon Caps. That's a radiant area. That's a radiant area. That's a radiant area. That's a radiant... Oh, hang on. That's not a radiant area. But this is a nice big chunk of nothing here. And most of these are basically just random dungeons designed specifically for radiant quests. Now, I'm saying that from the perspective both now and then. I never felt that Skyrim was very dense in content. In fact, actually, I felt the exact opposite. Most of that has to do with the breadth, or lack thereof, and depth, or lack thereof, of most of the actual quest arcs. Like, let me give you a small example. If I was to look up a city in Morrowind or Oblivion, I would see quests that are connected to or started in that city. And it's usually like 3 or 4 quests, you know, major quests that are started there, and probably about 2 or 3 chains that go through that. In here, I see 2 chains that go through it. Occasionally, there's 1 quest that starts in a city, and that's basically it. Now, I know that's not a great comparison, that's not a good one-to-one comparison, but it gets across the point I'm trying to make, that while there is content in Skyrim... no, I didn't even see that one, Zoan. While there is content in Skyrim, and I'm not trying to say that, I do feel like it's... If I am to remove the Radiant stuff, the random exploration stuff, the player Radiant stuff from the pool... what I have is very little content relative to the rest of the series. It's one of the reasons I feel we'll be going through Skyrim so much faster than the other games we've played thus far. However, right now I gotta answer some questions. So Ventures wants to know, are all missing story elements content? No. It's not how that works. So, yeah. Because there's a difference between cut content like, oh, it would be cool if... let's not do that. Or, what if we do this? Nah, let's bake this into this other thing, you know. There are many different varieties of cut content. That's true, Marto, I will give you that. Like, the best we've got is in Morrowind, where everyone hates you and kills you on sight forever if you turn into a werewolf in front of someone. I have no idea, Zoan. but I picture it very German. So I guess I do have an idea, so never mind.
We've been awaiting your return.
What?
Come, follow me.
Remind you, we're still on the third quest, by the way, of this. I want you to be in that mind, okay? I don't know, Malachor. Probably tomorrow.
Brothers and sisters of the Circle, today we welcome a new soul into our mortal fold. This man has endured, has challenged, and has shown his valor. Who will speak for him?
I stand witness to the courage of the soul before us.
Would you raise your shield in his defense?
I would stand at his back, that the world might never overtake us.
And would you raise your sword in his honor?
It stands ready to meet the blood of his foes.
And would you raise a mug in his name?
I would lead the song of triumph as our mead hall reveled in his stories.
Then the judgment of this circle is complete. His heart beats with fury and courage that have united the companions since the days of the distant green summers. Let it beat with ours, that the mountains may echo and our enemies may tremble at the call.
To be clear, Imajator, or however you're supposed to say that, I'm not trying to bash this game here. It's just, I'm pointing out what I feel are the predominant flaws, because most of the flaws, in my opinion, on Skyrim are a function of story. I actually think they do a lot of gameplay things correct in this game. Like, the biggest gameplay mistakes they make, I think, are related to level scaling and the magic system in its entirety. I mean, there's other niggles, but those are the two big ones. Story-wise, however, we are on the third quest in the Companions chain, and we are being inducted into the circle of the Companions. This is a cool little ceremony. But I want to once again remind you, I want to put this into context. Hi, I'd like to join. Oh, you want me? Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go beat up a woman. Okay, now I'm going to go kill a bunch of bandits. Alright, I'm in. That's all we've done. We have done nothing. Like, this is so true with, like, the next 3 quests we're going to be doing. I want to hit these 3 back to back, because it's like Companion, Mages College is the worst in my opinion, but Companion, Mages College, and the Thieves Guild. Don't kill me yet. I'll talk about that one when we get there. But all 3 of these feel, you know what I mean? Like, just really crushed in there. Like, okay, you've joined. Okay, now you're a werewolf. Okay, now you've cured the werewolfism. Okay, you're done. Okay, now we gotta go find this dragon priest mask. Okay, now we found the Eye of Mundus, or Magnus, excuse me, not Mundus. Okay, now, oh god, Uncanos tried to use it, and now you're the Archmage. It feels like we're skipping through a narrative arc that should be, like, way longer. And as a consequence of that, and some other issues I'll point out as we go through, I feel nothing. You know what I mean? No, I've earned it is invoked within me. No, this is great is invoked within me. No, oh my god, that's the Eye of Magnus. You know, there's no oomph. There's no emotional connection. There's no power. This is all just my opinion, by the way. This is all purely my opinion. But there's no power. There's no significance. It's just, all right, and done. Right? Oh, okay. I guess I'm part of the Companions now, and I'm a werewolf. Okay, that's cool. Oh, and I'm the Archmage. And yeah, you know, honestly, yeah, the main quest is the exact same way. I wish I'd timed myself, guys. For those of you who weren't here, during the setup stream, in order to test the stability of the special edition, which is what we're running for this, I went through the entire main quest, just one sitting back to back, and I just blazed through it. It could not have been more than a few hours. Just raced through it. Yep. And we even stopped to talk about things as we went. So just... Okay, done. Done. Now, it's worth noting, yeah, that was with cheating. Although, even without cheating, the main quest does not take long at all. 3 hours with cheats, there you go. So 3 hours with cheats and not really trying to speedrun. Just playing it with cheats on. So anyways, getting back to my point. It's worth noting that I want to make this clear, because some people have misunderstood me on this exact point. I don't want these quests to be longer and no other qualification. That's not what I want. Because I've seen games that stretch out. They're like, oh, this needs to be longer? Okay, here's some level gates, and here's some rep gates, and here's some padding. That's not making it longer, that's making it more boring, okay? I do want this stuff to be stretched out more, but I want there to be actual meat added to it. To use a food analogy, you guys know I love food analogies. Sadly, I don't have it on me, but I want you to imagine a kebab. A spork, or not a spork, what do you call it, a spike? The thing you put the kebab on? God, what's the term for that? Anyways, you got the spike, okay? Here, okay? I know it's actually this long, bear with me. Now, what I feel like is we've got like one little bell pepper and an onion and maybe one little chunk of meat, and that's it. Now, what I want is for another chunk of meat and a different chunk of meat and then another bell pepper and then maybe a mushroom and skewer, thank you, that's what I'm thinking of. And maybe a mushroom and like, I don't know, let's get some chicken on there. You know, add some real quantity so that it's this and it's delicious. But what I've seen some people do, and what some people misunderstand that I want, is, oh, you want it to be longer. Okay. So we're going to stretch the bell pepper over there, the meat over there, leave the onion in the middle, and we'll just smear some grease on the skewer in between. There you go. Enjoy! That's not what I want. Anyways.
It shall be so.
So now we've joined the companions. Yay.
Well, boy, you're one of us now. I trust you won't disappoint.
Why are you werewolves?
I see you've been allowed to know some secrets before your appointed time. No matter. Yes, it's true. Not every companion, though. Only members of the Circle all share the blood of the beast.
Actually, that's not true, Marto.
Some take to it more than others.
What about you?
Well, I grow old. My mind turns towards the horizon, to Sovngarde. I worry that Shor won't call an animal to glory as he would a true Nord warrior. Living as beasts draws our souls closer to the Daedric lore here seen. Some may prefer an eternity in his hunting grounds, but I crave the fellowship of Sovngarde.
Well, unfortunately, you are mega screwed, because by virtue of being a werewolf, you end up going to Hircine's domain. So the only way around that is, what is that guy doing? So the only way around that is to be cured.
Yes, but it's no easy matter. But you don't need to share the worries of an old warrior. This day is to rejoice in your bravery. And speak to Yorland if you want a better weapon than whatever that is.
This is a sword that could kill this entire town in one hit.
Some nights I dream about the mists of summer.
You still need to prove yourself, whelp. The so-called prison in Riften leaks like one of their fishnets. This is what happens when you let thieves run your town. The prisoners just walk right out. One of them's escaped, and you're going to find that coward.
Okay.
At this point, they don't care what happens to him, and neither do I. Best to just kill him and be done with it.
Hold up. So, it's a thief and he escaped. What was he in for? How long was he in? How did he escape? Did he get help? Why are they willing to pay us to take care of him? I need more info. I need more story.
Be careful. This man is known to be dangerous. I'll take.
Oh, nice Tokyo Vampire. I don't think I've seen that happen. I love the door bug. It's the first time I've seen it this playthrough. You know what I'm talking about, right? When you interact with the door and it's actually already open, so you're closing it, nothing happens. Well, yeah, Anthony. I mean, I'm sorry, but yes. Because otherwise, why am I doing this? What purpose is being served to me, the player, for doing this quest without any information at all? Now, I do agree too much information is a thing. I'll agree with that. But, God's sakes, there is no information here. Thief escaped from Riften, kill him. That's it. This is not a story. There is no quest here. I mean, I've already made this point. I really don't... I'm going to shut up. I've made my point already. Wow, Tokyo Vampire, that's nuts. Yes, Tixar, that's why we did such a long setup time, was specifically to fix that. Now that's interesting, because I don't really think of myself as a nitpicker. But that's also because I've met nitpickers in real life, and they are a lot worse than I am.
Yeah.
So hang on, I'm gonna go kill someone for no reason. Oh, excuse me, I guess the reason is because I was paid. Where is this guy? Is he literally running across the country? He is. God damn it. Yeah, I'm already committed to doing a premiere run of Elder Scrolls 6. But I'm pretty sure Elder Scrolls 6 will be their last chance for me. Hi. Well, there goes Criminal. His name is Criminal. They didn't even give him a named NPC. It's okay, guys. Criminal has died. I will admit I am an overthinker. That's an easy thing to lay at my feet. I do that in real life. The amount of thought I put into the organization of my closet, which is organized by type of clothing, and then subtype of clothing, and then usage and color of clothing. Yeah, I'm an overthinker, I'll admit that.
Are you looking for help with something?
That criminal won't be a problem anymore.
Bit by bit, we bring honor to this land.
Shut up.
And you've brought... Yes, but it's not for every... We will speak more.
Where's the Underforge?
Forget that you've never seen it. Beneath the Skyforge, where Yorland works. The door is hidden. But I wish more of a... I've started seeing... I've battled... I would trust anyone here with my life.
So, I'm sorry, I just kind of zipped through that really quick, but what I just asked him was, what does being a companion mean to you? And he said, well, I've fought alongside all these people and I trust them with my life. That's what being a companion means to him. That's
more
it.
Than I'd say for the milk drinkers who break.
No, I actually don't have OCD. Believe it or not, I actually have no mental disorder. The closest thing I have to any kind of mental disorder is that I had, when I was much younger, difficulty expressing emotions. That's it. I still felt them. I just had a hard time expressing them. I actually learned over time how to do that by observing other people, and that kind of naturally led to my habit of paying attention to, observing, and studying other people. How they communicate, why they communicate, all that kind of stuff. Apparently so, Tigzar. So let's see. Let's think about this for a moment. Go talk to the people in the camp. Go beat up... True, Tara, I'll give you that. So, camp, right? Talk to the people here. Then go down and hit the... hit up the tavern keep, right? Beat up the tavern keep for a bit. I do have a bit of a verbal stutter, but that's different. That's just because my mind's going faster than my mouth is capable of going. So, beat up the tavern keep, okay? Kill some bandits. Kill Criminal, okay? And now we are currently on our 5th overall step. I remind you, 2 of these steps were Radiant quests, and one of these steps was a go talk to them in the first place. So functionally, we have had one real quest, one actual quest in the Companion's Chain so far, and that was the one to go and find out about the werewolves, right? One real quest. Now, you might wonder why I'm bringing this up. Well, it'll be obvious in just a second. I just need to remember the time. At night. Okay. Sure, it is now night. I will it to be so! Oh, excuse me. Ugh. And yet, ESO has been doing some better stuff lately, story-wise. It's a shame that it's basically in a pocket dimension, storyline-wise, from the rest of the series, but at least it's good.
Blades don't hurt enough. A sword needs not now.
The Underforge.
Okay, fine. It's tonight. What do you want from me, dude?
Hmm?
Oh, right. It's like right here or something. No? Is that not it? Thought that was it. I guess not. Doo-doo-doo. Zap Brannigan.
Not now. The Underforge, tonight.
I could see that, Travinci.
The Underforge, tonight.
Jesus, dude, go, okay? God Christ. Yeah, I know, right, Fallout Bear? That takes some serious discipline. Okay, now?
Are you prepared?
Oh my god. Yes. I am ready.
This is no test, new blood. This is a gift.
One quest.
Come inside.
One real quest. One quest, one go-to, 2 radiance.
I'm glad you came. It's been a long time since we had a heart like yours among our numbers. That pitiful ceremony behind the hall does not befit warriors like us. You are due more honor than some calls and feasting. I would hope you recognize Ayla, even in this form.
Hi, honey.
She's agreed to be your forebear.
That's gross.
We do this in secret because Kodlak is too busy trying to throw away this great gift we've been granted. He thinks we've been cursed, but we've been blessed. How can something that gives this kind of prowess be a curse?
So, Shore here is an idiot. I want to remind you that being a werewolf comes with 2 significant downsides. Significant downside number 1. Your afterlife is, unless you do something to fix it, permanently attached to her scene and not anywhere else. In fact, you effectively belong to her scene from this point onwards as being a werewolf. Now, if you don't see that as a significant negative, then I guess that's your opinion, because holy crap. The second significant negative here is the fact that the werewolf thing is actually a curse. While you can use it and control it to a certain extent, even someone who is a practiced werewolf will still have issues with certain things, most notably the time when, I can't remember exactly what it is in Skyrim, they say it, but like basically every now and again you will turn into a werewolf and lose control temporarily. When you're a werewolf, you have a chance to lose control regardless. Like even if you are in control of yourself, it's like, and I suppose that's actually it. So I suppose those are the only negatives to being a werewolf. The possibility of losing yourself forever, or losing yourself temporarily, and your afterlife is permanently changed, unless you fix it. Anyways.
So we take matters into our own hands. To reach the heights of the Companions, you must join with us in the shared blood of the wolf.
Gameplay-wise, that doesn't happen to us, that is correct. But in lore, the werewolves are still functioning to the periodic moon-related curse. That is actually a thing in lore. It's just, I don't believe that's ever a thing in gameplay. Not counting what's about to happen to the PC right now. Yeah, we are literally about to lose control. And I'm going to do something that... Oh, wait. Am I? Well, I'm going to try to do something we'll talk about.
Are you prepared to join your spirit with the beast world, friend?
Well, being a vampire doesn't have any definitive change to your afterlife situation, weirdly enough. Also, by the way, don't forget we have a poll as to whether we should join the Dawn Guard or the Vampire Lords in the Dawn Guard DLC. Make sure to vote on that. Here, I'll put the vote graphic up. I don't have it up. That's my fault. I apologize. Vote. Where is it? Where's the vote graphic? I have so many graphics I use for this thing. I don't have it on here. Gosh darn it. Hang on. Give me a second. Add existing. Voot. There we go. Bam! Voot! It'll be something I could put down here. little bit more. There we go. Perfect. And if you give me a moment, I will get you a link, because apparently no one saved the link. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. One moment, one moment. Boop. There you go. So make sure you vote. When the Dragonborn dies? Well, that depends on other things. Let's just say that we're probably going to end up with Hemoris Mora, or Persine, depending. Or, you know what, we'll get to there. So, what if I don't want to be a werewolf?
That is your choice. We will not force you. But to join the circle, your blood must be as ours. Meet us here when you're ready.
I want to make this clear. There are two options here. Don't do the quests or become a werewolf. There is no other choice. The only way to progress through the companion chain is to become a werewolf, period.
Very well.
Hi, Ayla. Glug, 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 glug. So then this happens. I'm a werewolf. Where is he? Where is he? Crap, he's not here. Where is he? Where is that bastard prophet? Oh god, where is he? Where is he? I will kill everyone. Or rather, just the one guy. Where is he? Seriously. He's usually, like, right there. They knew. They knew what I was gonna do. Those bastards. You can kill people without penalty here, by the way. Because you're a werewolf. Because they don't know it's you. Oh, God. Okay, hang on. Oh, yeah, I can't pull up the map. Give me a second. Wait, did I miss him then? I might just be blind. I do have bad eyes, as I've said before. Excuse me, excuse me. No, I'm running out of time, no! Okay, nope, that's unacceptable. I have to kill him. It's very important to me. Where is this jackass? So the first time I ever did this, I beelined for him and killed him. And every time I have done this, I have beelined to him and killed him. I have used the werewolf transformation to get a free kill in Heimskr every single time I've become a werewolf. It's kind of a tradition. So where is he? Let's see. Oh, okay. So apparently after the battle for Whiterun, he'll be living by the shrine. But he does have a house before that. Let's see. Where is his house? That is... Where is that? Hang on. I've got a map up. Wait, wait, wait. Before I become a werewolf, I just need to... Damn it! I just need a... Hang on. Hang on. Oh god, I'm trapped! Okay, so... His house is... right there. I can see it. I need to, like, do a custom thing. It's not letting me do a custom thing. Whatever, I found his house. Hopefully I can use a door as a werewolf. Glug, glug. Oh, I like him fine. He's delicious, really. And I am real hungry. A werewolf walks along here. Yeah, I probably can't use the door. Is this it? Is this it? Ugh. I can't even interact. I can't even see the door. Then you must all die. All must perish to the werewolf horde. Nom 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 nom. Delicious. Nordic flesh. Or maybe it needs flesh. We may never know. Can't even tell if I'm hitting him. Yeah, it looks like I am. Yes, yes. Kill you, Harbinger. Yes. I have an idea. Okay, so the blood's in there now, right? Guys, can I just have a little bit of time to really think if I want to drink that blood? Just give me 10 hours or so to think this over. Okay, I've thought it over, and I think I want to drink the blood. I suppose I'd go with neither ventures. I don't care for either gameplay. The werewolf feels limited and weak compared to my normal form. Hey, Heimskr, how are things? Nom, 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 delicious. Delicious. Yes. Oh, God. The world is gone. There we go. Is he dead? Did I get him? I got him. Okay, yay! I have done what I came here to do. Oh, hey, the Red Guards are here. Must get to freedom. That's true, Marto. I wish he was a little less irritating, but you know. Oh, hey. Why am I in my Dwemer armor now?
Are you awake? I was starting to think you might never come back. Yours was not an easy transformation, but you're still alive, so congratulations. We even have a celebration planned for you.
And of course, nobody gives a damn that I literally just murdered someone, or could have murdered any number of people if I didn't know what was going on.
There's a pack of werewolf hunters camped nearby, at Gallows Rock. The Silver Hand. I think you've met them before. We're going to slaughter them. All of them.
No, no, no.
Lead on. Skior's already scouting ahead.
Wait. What just happened?
You were born into the pack, brother. I almost envy you. That first time was always the most intense.
And now we're stuck in combat music forever.
More trouble than Farkas did with his first turn.
Am I a werewolf now?
You have the blood of the wolf. Just be careful.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
Some cowards
I can't hear you under the combat music. Dun, dun, dun. Super awesome. Killing people. Oh, hey, we happen to be right next to the place we're going to wipe out. Did you literally drag me to the camp when you weren't certain if I was alive or not? Okay, what was your plan if I wasn't? Just leave me out here to rot while you go after the bandits without me? Actually, never mind. That totally sounds in character. I know, right, you Tojos? Music! 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 Super music! Da-na-na! 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 Music! Da-na-na! Da-na-na! Sorry. Da-na-na! Epically killing a rat! Da-na-na! Well, I hope you get some good pizza, Lava Dude. Da-na-na! Da-na-na! I'm sorry. I don't know why this is so funny to me. I have a weird sense of humor. I'm gonna get you! Da-da-da! Oh, I almost killed Ayla there. So anyways, Senior Sorrow. Let me think about that for a second.
Someone there?
Da-da-da! Sorry. I'll stop. Even if I have to mute the mic.
Time to end it.
Okay, I'm done. God, you know, I'm not sure there's a developer out there that I trust sufficiently to do what I want in the next Elder Scrolls game, and that's kind of sad, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
We're getting close now.
Yeah, Sugar Magoo, that's how you get along with people. Dun-dun-dun is how you kill people. Dun-dun-dun! I'm sorry, I said I'd stop. Man of my word. I don't trust CD Projekt Red. And I know I get weird looks when I say that, but it's true, I don't. I think I would also agree with Obsidian, maybe? I don't know,
Bastards.
That's a tough one.
Somehow they managed to kill Skior. He was one of the strongest.
I must make Elder Scrolls 6. I'm gonna recruit. I'm putting together a team.
A shield brother. Get out of here. I'm going to make sure we got the last of them and see if there's any information to be gotten from the bodies.
Okay, cool.
I have work to do. Silver Hand will tremble at our sight.
I'm cool with that. Could I cure this? Like, is that a thing?
Until next time.
Alright, whatever. Da-da-da!
Take care not to... Good that you... I've caught them. If you can sneak into their camp and steal their plans, we'll have the advantage. Have you been bringing the battle to the Silver Hand, friend?
So, yeah, we're almost done with the companion quest chain, seriously. Let me explain why I don't have a lot of faith in CD Projekt Red. They made what is, in my opinion, and I know... Da-da-da! And I know that this gets some flack, and I know that it's gotten a little bit of pendulum effect going on, but I legitimately think Witcher 3 is one of the best games ever made, and I mean that sincerely. I think Witcher 3 and its 2 expansions were absolutely phenomenal. Anybody who knows me, and who watched me, knows that I actually bought Witcher 3 with no intention to play it. Zero intention or desire to play that game. Why? Because I didn't really like Witcher 1 and 2 all that much. Not really. I hopefully will never play those games again, because I don't want to. I didn't like them that much. I mean, they weren't terrible, it's just, eh. Witcher 3, by total contrast, was freaking amazing. It was actually astonishing to me, the improvement in quality from Witcher 2 and Witcher 1 to Witcher 3. So yes, Witcher 3 was amazing, but that doesn't, you know, a company that managed to put out one incredible game does not mean I have faith in the company. Does that make sense? Now, Obsidian I have a little bit more faith in, as much as I don't agree with some of the things they've been doing with their games lately. As much as I don't agree with some of the things Obsidian's been doing with lately, I still think Obsidian puts out consistently high-quality stuff. No, you don't, Utah Jazz. You could literally skip Witcher 1 and 2 and jump right into 3.
Looks like the boss is at it.
Did you hear something?
Looky here. Looks like we got ourselves a hero.
You know, considering you guys don't know I'm a werewolf and you're willing to attack me on sight, that's a little indicative, I think. Actually, yeah, Fallout Bear. That was an interesting death. Anyways, so getting back to my point. Yeah, I have tons of faith in EA, just not faith for things that are positive.
What was that? Ah, found you.
It's that.
Hey, look, the stratagem. I did it. Da-da-da! Sorry. Da-da-da! I'm sorry. So, Obsidian? Yeah, maybe. I thought about Blizzard for a second, because I know this is a pretty unpopular opinion, but I do think Blizzard puts out consistently highly polished games. But I don't know if I trust Blizzard with this type of storytelling. And most of the other developers I like are pretty niche developers, as in they're specifically into a very specific type of thing. Like, for example, the people who made Divinity Original Sin 2, I can't think of the developers' names, forgive me. They're really good at making that type of game. I mean, Divinity Original Sin 1 was great, in my opinion. Divinity Original Sin 2 was freaking absolutely amazing. So, they can make that type of game. You know, the top... Yeah, that was Larian Studios. God damn it. Okay, so Larian Studios, you know, that's an example. You know, Telltale. I actually still have a lot of faith in Telltale. I know I get some flack for that. But in my opinion, they've only really made one significant misstep in the last several years, and that was with Guardians of the Galaxy, Telltale. I even enjoyed Minecraft Season 2, and I didn't expect to. So, you know. So, if, you know, they could do a Telltale-type game, but they couldn't do an Elder Scrolls-type game. There's the guys who made Shovel Knight, who, in my opinion, made a really good Mega Man-style game. But I wouldn't... You see where I'm going with this. The point is, I do have faith in several developers. But a developer that I feel could handle this kind of a project? That's a rarity. Yeah. Necro. Legion was really, really good. And it looks, by all accounts, it looks like I was wrong in my initial fears about Battle for Azeroth. So, yeah. I'm trying to decide if I agree or disagree with you, Marto, on that. Because one of the things I liked most about New Vegas was how much it felt like an actual location. But a lot of that was in the depth of the specifics rather than the world building itself. That I'd be okay with, Bad Wolf Live. Legit. Because if there's one thing Bethesda's still good at to this day, it's making a massive world and setting up the flow and design of that world. And I can prove that because Fallout 4 did that. It's something I talked about during my rumination of Fallout 4. Let me explain a little bit what I'm talking about. So, now Skyrim doesn't quite do this. Skyrim does this a little bit. But Fallout 4 did this a lot. So I'm making up locations, so just bear with me. But presume you start here at the Bloodlet Throne. So you start the game and you're here. Now, you have a quest pointing you pretty much right next door to the Ancient's Ascent. So you go to the Ancient's Ascent, you meet a couple characters, you see a couple things, and your next quest is to go over here. Now, if you notice, and I'm doing this on purpose, there's like 2 things in between here and there. And in Fallout 4, both of these things were side quests that actually had like other things you could do, or other quests you could do, or other events that would help you to either develop yourself, or give you new skill ups, or learn the world, or get equipment, or whatever. Or you could just go straight to point C here now, which is Helgen. And once you're at Helgen, it's like, oh my gosh, we really need... There's a very natural narrative and gameplay combined flow to Fallout 4. It's the best aspect of that game, in my opinion. Because it actually, it directs you in a direction with its main quest. And as you're going through that, you're seeing other bits of story. You get most of your major characters that way, the companions, and can do their arcs. And you see most of the major story-significant quests basically in that path. All optional, but still in a direction that you're being directed along. It's really good world design, legit. God, do I like Fallout 4 or Skyrim better? I'm not sure I can answer that. If we ignore mods, I think I'd call them about even, to be completely honest with you. But mods obviously sway it heavily in Skyrim's favor, so... Fallout 4's biggest flaw, in my opinion, narratively speaking, if I was to, like, obviously it has several flaws. But the biggest complaint I have with Fallout 4's narrative is the fact that after a certain point, the game just basically stops. Like, all of that flow in terms of narrative, all that flow of the main quests, all of these specific interesting areas or dungeons or vaults you can go through, there's a certain point at which that just kind of stops. And it goes from being like this interesting, you know, significant, well-crafted arc to being, oh, and now I got to do these other random things that have nothing to do with anything, and the quests just plummet in terms of quality, and the story basically goes away. You know?
You have a big heavy weight swinging around your upper body. Your lower body has to compensate.
Have you been bringing the battle to the Silver? I hope the hunting goes well, brother. Perfect. Hopefully this will let us know more about their movement. I think we've got them on the run.
So, what's our next target?
I've been hearing rumors of Silver Hand activity.
That sounds...
A group of them has holed up in Hjalmar. Run fast.
Is this another Radiant quest? Oh god, it is. I think. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I can't even tell. Isn't that sad? I can't tell anymore. No, whatever. Let's go here. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. And yeah, I did have pretty significant issues with Fallout 4's gameplay, too. Most notably, I actively think the leveling is bad. Like, I think I could so definitively say the leveling in Fallout 4 is bad. If nothing else, I definitely do not feel it is good. My opinion. Oh, I'm done! I'm done. That's... Radiant quests. Okay. Like, I'm willing to be challenged on that assertion that leveling in Fallout 4 is bad. But... that's my, you know, gut reaction to that. Oh, I'm sorry, Malachor, I didn't see the question earlier. I would say Skyrim has better DLC, easily. I like Dawnguard, and I like Dragonborn. Now, I did like Far Harbor, but Far Harbor wasn't enough, and the other problem with Far Harbor is that there's only one of them.
I'm still trying to...
We talked about that earlier, Harriant. Zawan gave a suggestion, but at that point, they're not quests, so... as long as we're still speaking within the realm of quests, as in main meat content of an RPG, no. If you've never played a Fallout game before, don't listen to Django. Do not listen to Django. See, the reason I'm hesitant to just automatically say New Vegas is there's a significant amount of New Vegas that relies on 1 and 2. Like a significant amount of it. There is a weirdly large amount of New Vegas that you're just going to look at like, hi, I'm such and such, and you're going to have no idea why the game's acting like this is a significant person, because they were in the previous games, or they're a descendant of the previous games, or whatever. That being said, I do think New Vegas is a good game to play if you want to see if you like the Fallout series. Because if you like New Vegas, and if you like the gameplay format of New Vegas, you can try Fallout 3. And if you like the story aspect of New Vegas, you can try Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. I can't in good conscience recommend Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 for someone who's never actually played the games at all. I'm going to go ahead and be honest, I played Fallout 1 and 2 when they came out, and I actively can't stand playing them now. When I went back through Fallout 2 for the Rumination, it felt like I was ripping my teeth out constantly. I hated it. Everything about it was just aggravating to me. It's an old PC RPG, and every problem that comes with that. So it's hard for me to recommend that unless you're really committed to the idea of getting into the Fallout series. Now, if you are committed, if you're willing to take the bad with the good, go ahead and start with Fallout 1, but that's the only way I could recommend that.
Have you been bringing the battle to the
Yeah, I
Silver
did your
Hand,
Radiant
friend?
quest.
Excellent. Looks like you've really driven them into... And there is more work to be done. But I fear that Kodlak's gotten wind of our recent efforts. He's asked to see you. My advice, always be honest with the old man. But don't tell him anything he doesn't need to know.
Hi, Kamek. Actually, Marto, I've had a theory about that for a while now. I feel like Bethesda, because of the massive bank that's pushing them with ZeniMax and Bethesda Publishing, I think
Need
that
something?
Bethesda, the developers, are more willing to experiment with each game and try to reinvent the wheel each game, specifically because they're just trying out new stuff. It's the throw it at the wall and see what sticks mentality. Now, I don't have any proof of this per se, but I felt like this has been a thing they've been pushing for basically since Morrowind. So in Oblivion and in Fallout 3 and in Skyrim and in Fallout 4, it feels like they just keep trying new things and endeavoring for new things and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I agree that they kind of drastically alter and adjust the leveling system or the scaling or the level, the quest design, pretty much each thing. And yeah, they keep... The only weird thing is they keep sticking with Gamebryo, which is even weirder because they keep doing like a significant amount with the Gamebryo engine each game, but they keep sticking with the engine, so...
Make it quick.
Where's Smart Guy? Hey, Smart Guy! Whoa, whoa.
Thank you for coming.
You wanted to see me? The epic battle music tells me you want to see me!
Yes, youngling. Have a seat.
Okay, I have had a seat.
I hear you've been busy of late.
Yeah, Aela and I worked to avenge Skjor's death.
Your hearts are full of grief, and my own weeps at the loss of Skjor. But his death was avenged long ago. You have taken more lives than honor demanded. The cycle of retaliation may continue for some time. In any case, I have a task for you. Have you heard the story of how we came to be werewolves?
No, but I can't wait to share it with the stream.
The boy has a nugget of truth, but the reality is more complicated than that. It always is.
I'm sorry, what's the truth?
The companions are nearly 5,000 years old.
A little over,
this
actually.
This matter of beast blood has only troubled us for a few hundred. One of my predecessors was a good but short-sighted man. He made a bargain with the witches of Glenmoral Coven. If the companions would hunt in the name of their lord Heimskr, we would be granted great power.
So, this is where werewolfism came into the companions. As you can see, it's a much more recent issue. In fact, some people argue that this happened when Heimskr was last showing around. In other words, during Solstheim back in Morrowind, which at this point would be 219 years ago, I think? Something like that?
They did not believe the change would be permanent. The witches offered payment, like anyone else. But we had been deceived.
The witches should be hunted down and burned at the stake.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
It's not so simple as just killing them, though. The disease, you see, affects not just our bodies. It seeps into the spirit.
As I mentioned, the 3 magical diseases all share some similarities, and this is one of them.
Upon death, werewolves are claimed by Heimskr for his hunting grounds. For some, this is a paradise. They want nothing more than to chase prey with their master for eternity. And that is their choice. But I am still a true Nord, and I wish for Sovngarde as my spirit home.
To clarify what I mean, Marto, I mean during the time of Solstheim the expansion. As in the expansion that we, to Morrowind. That's what I was referring to.
And that is their choice.
So is there a way to...
I am still a true Nord, but I wish for Sovngarde as my spirit home. That's what I've spent my twilight years trying to find out. And now I've found the answer. The witch's magic ensnared us, and only their magic can release us. They won't give it willingly, but we can extract their foul...
For some reason, I keep thinking Blood Moon is called Solstheim. That's my fault. Yes, Blood Moon is what I'm referring to.
Powers by force. I want you to seek them out. Go to their coven in the wilderness. Strike them down as a true warrior of the wild.
Okay.
And bring me their heads, the seat of their abilities. From there, we may begin to undo centuries of impurity.
It shall be done.
Good. Now move quickly, and don't leave any of them alive.
Okay.
Talos guide you, lad.
But I thought Talos didn't exist. Why am I back in my Dwemer armor? Alright, guys. Actually, no, we're going to stay in the Dwemer armor for now. It's very appropriate for the companions, I think. I mean, the companions screwed over the Thalmor, and the Dwemer screwed over the Thalmor. We got kind of a symmetry thing going on. As I say, we don't have a lot of quests left at this point. There it is. God, that's hard to see. Yeah, it's one of those weird things. People complain when games are too similar, and people complain when games are too different. And you are damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. I will say, despite my own complaints and criticisms about the series, I would rather that we have the Bethesda method than the Call of Duty method. My opinion. Aye. Yeah, I need your head. Give me a second. Rip. There we go. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to kill them all. Screw these guys. Or gals, or whatever. Ah, for God's sake. Is there a way to increase my jump skill that I just don't know about, since there is no jump skill? It's worth noting, by the way, that I still enjoy several Call of Duty games. I'm not trying to just be generically negative here. I'm just saying that I do actually prefer the try everything and maybe it'll be good or maybe it'll be bad method than the let's just refine what we've got method. I am still okay with the let's just refine what we've got method because I still like Pokemon. And I can say that without shame, too. You know what's funny? They talk about Saint Alessia, and yet, if you really look into the lore of it, as I've pointed out, Saint Alessia was probably just a politician and or an opportunist who happened to be living in a fortuitous time. And yet, she is revered as Saint Alessia. I find this funny since Martin probably was closer to being what we would call an actual saint, not just someone who was venerated by an organization for some activity or for political reasons, but someone who was saintly in the more traditional sense of the word. I don't feel like this right now. You're somewhere here. Where? Ah, you are. I see you. Oh, by the way, the reason some of them have Daedra carts is they're using them. By the way, it's alchemy kind of a thing. Oh god, it's a spider! Whew. Okay. I think so, yeah, Harriet. Pretty sure. In the Beyond Skyrim thing. I haven't actually really dug into it like I wanted to. Yeah, it would be funny if the Hag Ravens were Daedra. Oh no, I plan to cure myself, by the way. So, while they did actually, how do I put this? Well, ironically, you and I are saying the same thing with different words, Marto, but anyways. What was I saying? I don't like werewolfism in this game at all. I know I've been really dissecting the gameplay aspects of this game. All I'm going to say is that I feel that they made a mistake with werewolfism because I feel like that they looked at how werewolves were in Morrowind, and they were ridiculously overpowered in Morrowind, and I'll admit that. And they did what most developers do when they see something that's overpowered. They over-nerfed it. Because I have never in any playthrough of Skyrim enjoyed playing as a werewolf, not once.
These two aren't a problem anymore.
The silver hand.
They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr. We got the Silver Hand. They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr. We got the Silver Hand. They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr. We got most of them, but I think a few stragglers made it out.
Okay. He only repeated himself 3 times, or twice.
These two aren't a
the
problem.
Silver Hand. They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr.
These two aren't
We got the Silver Hand. They
These two
finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr. We got most of them.
These two aren't a
The
problem.
Silver Hand. They finally had the nerve to attack.
These two aren't a problem anymore.
We got most of them, but
These two aren't a
the
problem.
Silver Hand. They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get like a music beat going on
Silver
here.
Hand.
These two aren't a problem.
Nerve to attack Jorvaskr. We
These
got
two
most
aren't a
The
problem.
Silver Hand.
I'm done.
They finally had the nerve to attack Jorvaskr.
Where
Silver
have you
Hand.
been?
These two. Silver Hand. These two. Silver Hand. These two. Silver Hand. These two. I'm done. I'm done. So yeah. Anyways, what happened here?
One of the fiercest battles I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
The Silver Hand.
Oh my God.
They finally found enough courage to attack Jorvaskr.
They had the nerve.
We
These
fought
two.
them off. But the old man, Kodlak, he's dead.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He's going to her scene now.
No, but they made off with all our fragments of Wuthran.
Of course they did. They're bandits.
But you and I are going to reclaim them.
Yeah.
We will bring the battle to their chief camp. There will be none left living to tell their stories. Only songs of Jorvaskr will be sung. We will avenge Kodlak, and they will know terror before the end.
Will they know these two?
Make them
Don't
bleed.
leave any of them alive. Don't leave any of them alive.
Make them bleed.
Don't leave any of them alive.
That doesn't have the same
Make
beat to
them
it.
Don't leave any of them alive.
Apparently I smell like wet dog. God, you know, if it really is that obvious that I'm a werewolf, I mean, Christ. I love this battle music for me, looking at the map. I don't have a lot to say about this, by the way, because there's not a lot to say about this. We're going after the Silver Hand, who have the nerve to be these two.
Never should have come here.
You know, this is going to sound like a weird thing to comment on at this point. But melee weapons have a good weight to them in this game, I feel. Like, there's a definitive, like it feels like you're actually hitting something, especially if you're using a blunt weapon. I mention that especially because I've never felt that way with magic. Like, it feels like they put some real effort into the animations and to the way people react to those animations. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. But none of that's there with the magic. Am I the only one who feels that way? This is just pure, like, perspective opinion. I'm just curious what you guys think. Probably not, Necro. That would take actual forethought. I'm serious. Remember, the only one who probably would have been, like, capable of doing that, the one who actually spoke bad of him, was Skjoldr, or Skjoldr. God, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But anyways, he's dead. He died before that quest even happened. No, this is just the bandits attacking them attacking the bandits, oh, sorry, Vilkas. Them attacking the bandits attacking them, and just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This door is barred from the other side. Is it now? Nah. God damn it.
Huh?
It is very strange that only Kodlak got killed. Let's be honest, this is probably just another aspect of not particularly good writing. This is, what, our 6th quest total, if we're being technical? And I think it's our 4th real quest, like our 4th actual quest we've had. And they've taken the fragments of the weapon for no stated reason. They went and attacked a place in the middle of Whiterun. Like, huh? They just managed to charge into Whiterun, which has a gate, by the way, and lots of guards, and managed to attack a place pretty much at the opposite end of that. And then, in this attack, where they managed to reach pretty much across the entire city to get to there, then they managed to kill one guy. What? Who's shooting me? Where's your manners? Oh, hi, Vilcus. So they killed one guy. I think they actually killed 3 guys. Sorry, that's something I should point out. So they killed 3 guys. I mean... Oh, and then they... And it's worth noting, by the way, that not only do they manage this ridiculous attack, but they also managed to steal the shards of the weapon. Again, no explanation given. And then get them out. So that means some of them survived and managed to escape this invasion of the central city of Whiterun. Like the central district of Whiterun. Like, there are ways to make this make sense, but I'm pretty sure this is an example of not really thinking this through. Or let me explain what I mean in slightly less emotional terminology. This is a circumstance where they wanted to accomplish certain beats in the story, so they did, and then they moved on. You know what I mean? They wanted, God, I can't even think of his freaking name. They wanted Calcock, or whatever his freaking name. What, the cool guy, the old man. They wanted him to die so that then his death would have some significance. Remember, we just had that whole discussion about, you know, the afterlife and how he really wanted to go to Sovngarde. Kodlak, thank you. Kodlak. So, he really wanted to go to Sovngarde rather than Hircine. So him dying was necessary so that we can then, you know, salvage him. And goodbye forever, Kemek. They wanted to have it so that we would have another reason to go after the Silverhands. They needed the Silverhands to be the bad guys. They wanted to emphasize this great axe, even though it actually has no story relevance to this part of the story whatsoever. Like, you get what I mean by this? Maybe I'm explaining myself badly. This feels ill thought out. And that's my point.
The others have probably prepared Kodlak's funeral by now.
Dog.
Come up to the Skyforge to pay your...
Yeah, okay.
Who will start?
I'll do it. Before the ancient flame.
I would give so much to have the kill all spell right now, because I just kind of aim it right there.
At this loss,
we weep.
We shout.
And for ourselves,
we take our leave.
It could be rushed, it could be they didn't care. It could be the writers didn't know what to do with it. There are a lot of possibilities here. And I don't know. This is not the only quest chain in Skyrim that feels rushed, lazy, or bad, depending on what you think of that. Now, this is the one and only thing.
His spirit is departed.
Hang on.
Members of the Circle. Let us withdraw.
It's not letting me. Unless that's just not him.
The Underfolk.
Okay, so that's the fire.
Last together.
That's not him either. God damn it, I can't resurrect him! Why can't I resurrect him? Get up! I can't even loot him. Can I move him? Hey, Kodlak. Kodlak, come on. Hey. I give up.
Do you have the fragments of Wuthrad still?
And why are you hovering in the air like that?
Prepare them for mounting again.
Yeah.
Careful with those. Don't want even more fragments, do we? Of course, I have a small favor to ask of you. There's another piece that Kodlak always kept close to himself.
Actually, I need an add-on to do that. You'll notice how if I select him right now, it just says his ID code there. I had an add-on in base Skyrim that allowed me to show all the information on someone, which is really helpful and useful.
Go to his chambers and bring it back for me. I'm not sure I'm the best one to go through his things.
Why not? Why am I, the guy who just joined a couple hours ago and has done, God, I'm losing track, 4, I think, real quests so far? The guy to do this.
Thank you. I'll be here.
Whatever. I think I've made my point about this quest chain. I can probably just stop. Like, I mean, even the revelation of the werewolves is almost a non-issue. So, a couple centuries ago, there was a deal with some witches, and they cursed us with werewolfism. That's why there's werewolves in the companions. That's the big, in-depth, massively amazing lore. Whoops. Oh, god damn it. Whatever. What? What music?
I was the newest companion until you came along.
Yeah, it's true. With the fast travel and the waiting, it might have been a couple of days. Screw this place. Ah!
I'm still trying to figure out why Ysgamor let you in the first place.
I'll tell you, if you want me to. Don't worry, I'll reset the game in a second here to get rid of this stupid music bug, because I have to literally close the game to fix this music bug. Epic reforging! I have the fragment.
Your shield siblings have withdrawn to the Underforge.
The old man had one wish before he died, but he didn't get it.
Okay. That's not a bad idea, Eingrad. Da-na-na! Give me 1 second. Apparently we do, Choco. I didn't really think this was going to be a thing. Da-na! It's true, Anthony. So yeah, maybe 2 weeks, maybe. It's okay. I am the savior of the companions. As you know. Come on, load. Don't do this to me. Fine, you load. Why is nothing loading? Why is nothing loading? Why is everything wrong? By the way, I'm proud of you for your choices so far on the poll. I just want you to know that. Okay, whenever that loads.
Simple as that.
Being Moonborn is not so much of a curse as you might think, Vilkas.
That's not up to you to decide that. That's up to the individual who is cursed with it to decide that.
That's fine for you, but he wanted to be clean. He wanted to meet Ysgamor and know the glories of Sovngarde, but all that was taken from him.
And you avenged him.
Kodlak did not care for vengeance.
No, Farkas, he didn't. And that's not what this is about.
You know what I kind of find amusing about this? Aela is the one who's an idiot here. You know? I mean, both Farkas and Vilkas both understand what we're talking about here. And she's just,
We should be honoring Kodlak, no matter our own thoughts on the blood.
Right?
You're right. It's what he wanted, and he deserved to have it.
Kodlak used to speak of a way to cleanse his soul, even in death.
Really?
You know the legends of the tomb of Ysgamor.
There, the souls of the Harbingers will heed the call of Northern Steel. We can't even enter the tomb without Wuuthrad, and it's in pieces like it has been for 1,000 years.
And dragons were just stories, and elves once ruled Skyrim. Just because something is, doesn't mean it must be. The blade is a weapon, a tool. Tools are meant to be broken, and repaired.
Is that... Did you repair the blade?
This is the first time I've had all the pieces, thanks to our shield brother here.
You're welcome.
The flames of Hero can reforge the shattered. The flames of Kodlak shall fuel the rebirth of Wuuthrad, and now it will take you to meet him once more.
I admit I really like the appearance of that axe.
As the one who bore the fragments, I think you should be the one to carry Wuuthrad into battle.
Sure.
The rest of you, prepare to journey to the tomb of Ysgamor, for Kodlak.
For Kodlak. Because he was the cool one. But yeah, there's no marriage. I'd rather die. So, okay. Which vampire and which werewolf, in order to answer that question? Because that changes it. Like Oblivion vampire versus Skyrim werewolf, I'd probably go ahead and go with Oblivion vampire in that case. Make sure I'm still using a real weapon. Yep, there we are.
This is the resting place of Ysgamor and his most trusted generals. You should be cautious.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is the last quest in the chain.
Return Wuuthrad to Ysgamor. It should open the way.
Excuse me. Oh no, rats! No! Oh yeah, I guess I can change my level now. Level 1, there we go.
I sense someone presence among the dead.
I sense a presence.
Mortal fool! No one hides from the dead.
Oh hey, my music finally loaded. Alright, battle music. Really epic boss music. Hang on, hang on. What's this soundtrack you guys will actually like? There is no such thing. You all hate real music. So I'm afraid I'll have to play the only music that goes with everything.
Join the dead.
Death comes for you now.
Here's a question for you guys. Why do you guys think they started attacking us here? The companions' ghosts? Serious question. Actually, I do have Duel of the Fates, but then I would be copy-wronged into oblivion. And I don't like copy-wronged. Being copy-wronged. See, the thing is, the Knights of the Nine Ghosts walk up and say, "Very well. You wish to join us? You must be tested. Let us battle." These guys show up and they're like, "Nah, nah, you will die. Death and darkness. Life is pain." Because, yeah, they basically are just... All the living shall fear the dead. Like, that doesn't sound like testing to me. That just sounds like they're crazy ghosts who can be executed. So I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Like, that would make sense. I agree. But that's not what I'm seeing. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we could come up with any number of options here, but there's nothing here. There's no lore here, there's no debatable, this is just a blank sheet of paper. I have no idea why the ghosts are attacking us. Who dares disturb my rest? Remember, these people are supposed to be in Sovngarde. But no, there's ghosts.
No!
You get my point? I'm just pointing out yet another way in which this quest arc is not particularly well designed. Imagine, if you will, that we go into this area and there's a ghost right at the beginning, and he has just a couple quick lines. If you wish to make your way through this tomb, you will have to prove yourself to your predecessors, the companions of old. Fade away, and then remove the lines of dialogue from the ghosts in here, other than like, ha, right? Just so remove the all shall fear the dead thing. And then the rest of this just makes sense, right? But they don't bother doing that. For the same way they don't bother doing a lot of things in this quest arc. Hi, Kodlak.
Greetings, shield brother.
Hi?
Of course. My fellow Harbingers and I have been warming ourselves here, trying to evade Heimskr.
But there's nobody else here.
You see only me because your heart knows only me as the companion's leader.
Oh, of course, of course.
I'd wager old Vignar could see half a dozen of my predecessors. And I see them all. The ones in Sovngarde, the ones trapped with me in Heimskr's realm. And they all see me. You've brought honor to the name of the companions. We won't soon forget it.
But Vilka said you could be cured.
Did he now? I can only hope. You still have the witches' heads. Excellent. Throw one of them into the fire. It will release their magic. For me, at least.
Well, that's simple. Flaying. You're free, dude.
Greetings, shield brother.
Ayla, what are you doing? Oh, right. The wolf spirit. There we go.
No sign of him.
Greetings, shield brother.
You're free.
And so slain the beast inside of me. I thank you for this gift. The other Harbingers remain trapped by Heimskr. Perhaps from Sovngarde, the heroes of old can join me in their rescue. The harrowing of the hunting grounds. It would be a battle of such triumph. And perhaps someday you'll join us in that battle.
No, I'm Argonian.
But for today, return to Ysgamor. Triumph in your victory. And lead the companions to further glory.
But the companions don't have a leader. Like, that's actually a plot point. Ysgamor was the leader of the companions.
Did I hear right? Did he say you were to lead the companions?
But he wasn't the leader either.
I'm just surprised. But your strength and honor are apparent to all. And it's my honor to be first to address you as Harbinger. Let's go tell the others.
Okay. First, I'm gonna cure myself of werewolfism really quick, like.
Never should have come here.
And I'm not a werewolf. Yay.
Something has shifted in the moons, brother.
What is it?
I've sensed the blood pulsing a little stronger of late. I think the more we feed, the greater our prowess will grow. We could perhaps discover.
Okay, yep, so I am cured. We're good, we're good. Just want to make sure we're cured. Peace! Peace? Peace. I'm out. Peace! That's true, that's true. I'm not the leader, I'm just the person who gives charge and is in charge.
Heard about what you did, killing those foul witches. Well done, companion.
Thank you. Now, you and I gotta talk about your security policies. Anyways. So, that's the companion quest arc. So, werewolf gameplay, not really that good. It takes away a lot of your bonuses, which is your equipment. Because in Skyrim, a lot of your damage output is reliant on your equipment. It doesn't give you significant bonuses in exchange for it unless you have the proper perks for it. I'll give them that. The quests themselves are fairly brief and boring, and the story itself, as I've been pointing out as we go through here, is not really what you'd call particularly well designed. What are you talking about, Malachor? I'm not abusing.
There's a nip in the air.
Anything.
Won't be good for my crops.
Yeah,
Never
okay,
is.
So who wants to be the Archmage? Anyone? Anyone want to be Archmage? Well, tough. We're doing it anyways. No, hang on. I want to go here. So we're really going to blaze through this one, because this is actually worse than the companion chain in basically every way.
Cross the bridge at your own peril.
Okay, why?
The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
Okay. Peace.
Until next time.
Ooh, magic. Wow, this is not safe. This is not OSHA compliant. We talked about that yesterday, Marta. We actually did the entire Markarth stuff to start with. It's the first thing we did. I'm going to stop to talk about these quests and the story stuff here, and then I'm going to do the quest because there's not a lot of story in the quests. I'm just laying this out how it is, okay? I'm sorry. In my opinion, this quest arc is the worst quest arc in this game. My opinion. No. So, lore-wise, as I mentioned earlier, the Mages Guild has basically ceased to exist as a functional organization and entity, partially because of the necromancy issues, partially because of the fact that they lost their Archmage, because we pieced off to, go become Sheogorath, partially because of the violence and negativity towards mages in general, and magic in general after the Oblivion Crisis, and partially because of the Grey War. So, smash, 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 smash is basically what happened to the Mages Guild. Most of the mages kind of roamed around doing their own thing, becoming bandits and becoming hunted and hated. Some of the mages were like, well, we're not really a mage guild, we're a college of people, and we just kind of study magic, but we do it over here, away from everyone else. And that's why the Winter's College here, the College of Mages, has been allowed to continue to exist at all. It's worth noting that the College of Winterhold here, despite the fact that they've actually done several things to keep their magic basically away from the rest of the world, both literally physically, as you can see by the path to reach here, and in terms of politically and whatnot, there are still people all over the place who will constantly talk about how much they hate the magic, or they hate the mages, or how they blame stuff on the mages. Now, obviously, the way I'm saying that sounds like some pretty significant negative bias. Here's the thing. This place is effectively a theoretical mage research facility. I think that's probably the best way to put that. And that's important to note because it means they're going to make mistakes. And like with, I don't know, nuclear power or fusion or frickety napalm, there are, if you're going to be doing research on something unstable or dangerous or deadly, the consequences if things go bad are going to be more significant. So, that brings me to Windhelm. Now, I'm actually going to show you guys something real quick here before we did this. What direction am I facing? Here we go. Hang on, it's a Horker. I hate Horkers. There we go. Actually, I don't know if I can see it outside, but I don't want to go inside Ulfric's place yet. Maybe I literally can't see it from outside. Like, can I seriously not see the docks and everything from outside? Is that seriously how this works? Okay, here we go. No, it looks like I can't see it. Okay. Part of this place collapsed. It's actually an incident known as the Collapse, the Great Collapse. It was this horrible incident where like a chunk of the city literally fell away into the ocean, and there's this big earthquake, and everything was screwed off, and blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Several people from the College of Mages looked at this and said, oh yeah, that's a consequence of Vardenfell exploding in the Red Year. That's probably a complete lie, because there's a significantly larger amount of evidence from other sources that say that the reason the collapse happened was because of a magical experiment gone wrong on behalf of the college. What? Oh, god damn it, I'm in the wrong freaking city. Sorry, I'm in the wrong city. Sorry. No wonder I couldn't see it. There we go. Okay, so now that I'm... Hang on, let's get out to the ocean. God damn it. God, I'm not even sure where it is now. Okay, here we go. So, the collapse. There we go. You can kind of see bits and pieces of what's left of bits. This actually happened several years ago, though. Here's the thing. Hi, Gary. The Red Year happened about 15 or so years before the collapse. And so the Red Year, which is the actual explosion event, is the thing the mages said, no, it was totally the explosion. It was totally the explosion. Everything, everything about explosions of ash causes geological disturbances 15 years later. That's just normal. Now, I bring this up because a lot of the characters in lore also didn't believe the Mages College explanation. Now, it's worth noting that what actually caused the collapse, we don't know. It's debatable. But the problem is, the Mages College explanation was not good and very hard to believe, especially since it was a lot easier to believe that they were just doing some arcane research, and it went wonky, since there's the Mages College right frickety there. This did not contribute to the overall situation of them being tolerated. In fact, there's some people here, including the Jarl, who flat out admit that they kind of don't want the Mages College to exist at all. Now, it's worth noting the College of Winterhold here does not have proper funding. It's not like the Mages Guild back in the Empire. They do not have imperial bankroll. They do not help decide imperial policy. They have no political sway whatsoever. That's kind of an important thing, because I think that's a great potential for storytelling. It's basically telling the exact opposite of the kind of story arc that the Mages Guild always have. Rather than being intricately tied into the events of the country and the government and trying to help things or trying to do it, you're basically the guys over there on the fringe who nobody really wants, and you have to struggle for your own 117... Oh, God, was it really 117 freaking years? Jesus freaking Christ. That's even stupider. I got the 17 part right. Anyways. So yeah, 117 years later, that's when the collapse happened. Sorry about getting the date wrong there. They did still try to blame that on the Red Year, which is just ridiculous. But it's its own little dinky thing. It's its own tiny little segregate thing. And there's some great potential for playing these fringe researcher mages. What else do I have to talk about here? Nope, I guess that's all I got. Welcome to Winterhold. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in? Let me in. Let me in. Okay, I'm in.
What you learn here will last you a lifetime. Several if you're talented.
Oh, hey, Archmage.
You are new here, are you not? We have not spoken.
I haven't even heard anything about Dawn, Gary, so no. I do have an actual ticket out now with, whatchafigs. Linksys, which they're going to call me in about 10 minutes, supposedly. Maybe I should wait on the Mages Guild till tomorrow. Because I hate the Mages Guild. Yes, I did. I literally just finished talking about that, Anthony. No, we haven't met.
Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Savos Arin, Archmage of the College of Winterhold.
What?
I am quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college. Are we clear?
Of course. I mean, apparently dangerous research is a problem here.
Not often, no. Some risks must be taken, to be sure. I am simply trying to avoid untimely deaths.
I already did Azura.
We also must make an effort to avoid worsening what Skyrim thinks of us.
Right. Okay.
Alright then.
Damn it, I was hoping I could skip. There's a lot of quests in Skyrim you could just bypass. Hey, it's Nkano!
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely
Another
necessary.
new apprentice, I see.
Oh, you're a bad guy. Oh, I didn't know I was typing at him, Gary. Well, anyways, no. Nothing has been fixed. I don't know at what point he started talking. But, yeah, nothing has been fixed. So this is Nkano. Now, he has a voice where he kind of talks down upon you like this. I just want you to know that you're a worthless sack of crap. He also sneers at you every time he talks to you, and barks. There's lots of barking involved. He's also a Thalmor. So, he has, I suppose if we're being generous, at least 3 different signs, big neon signs attached to him that say, I'm the bad guy. And I only point that out because I hate that. Like, I like Fire Emblem, but one of the things I dislike most about Fire Emblem is that most of the bad guys have big neon signs that indicate, I am the bad guy. There's no ambivalence. There's no, or not ambivalence. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? God. There's no debatable. There's no, There's no, I wonder who this person is. You know, it's just, I am evil, and I am evil.
Of the sort that believe you're here to change the world? Or are you only in it for yourself? I assure you that I shall be watching.
Nuance, that is the word I'm looking for.
Very closely.
Or ambiguity, that actually, instead of ambivalence. I'd like to know more about the Thalmor.
Now that stability has been established between the Dominion and the Empire, we seek only to help Skyrim.
I'm sorry, hang on, I literally can't hear you.
To guide its people through this time of transition, to help lead them to a better future.
Of course. That makes perfect sense. You know what? I'm just going to bring this out one more time. Walking up to a guy like this is basically like walking up to someone and he says, "This world is imperfect. If only I could wipe away its impurities and make it as beautiful as I." Because that's basically what we're being told here.
I am an advisor to the Archmage. The Thalmor wish to promote relations with your college. I am at the Archmage's disposal if he requires advice.
Does the Archmage often ask for advice?
Perhaps not as often as he should. In time, I believe he will be more trusting.
Okay.
If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things...
Hey! Come on!
Actually, so, he's essential flagged. Uh-oh, I lost my mouse. And, yeah, nope, I lost my mouse. There it is. So I'm just gonna permanently...
Day-to-day operations are my responsibility.
Humble him here.
Which means if you become a problem, you get sent to me.
Oh, the Thalmor look cool. I'll give you that.
You consider Restoration a valid school of magic, worthy of study, don't you?
Restoration is the single most valuable school of magic that exists.
Good. Good. Not that I require validation, of course.
That's nice. That's nice. That I really don't care. Goodbye.
Fail to recognize the research one engages in.
So apparently I have to actually go join the guild properly, so give me a minute. Sigh. Yeah, we've actually soft-locked the game killing Ulfric a few times. I'm not joking.
Oath.
Welcome to the College of Winterhold.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah,
Now
blah,
I'm
blah, 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 blah,
If,
blah, blah.
however, you
Yeah, I
seek
want to
something
join.
more, I will be happy. It is no.
No, I want to join.
The good people.
I want to join.
Thus, we
I want
must
to join.
take certain precautions.
Let
in
me
order
join.
Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within?
I want to unravel the mysteries of Aetherius.
Ah, the immortal plane. It is said to be the source of all magic. This is a noble goal, indeed. It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will.
I think we both know I'll succeed here.
No, I'm afraid I don't know anything of the sort.
Okay.
Excellent. A standard spell for one skilled in destruction magic is the Firebolt. Casting one at the seal on the ground here would be sufficient.
I don't know that spell.
No? Well, if you think you're capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it to you for a mere 30 gold.
Okay.
Or you can try your luck with one of the court wizards around Skyrim. They also sell spells.
Yeah, okay.
Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it.
Thanks. God, this silence is insane. By the way, the Oblivion magic, or the Oblivion music that was playing earlier, that was on minimum volume.
The college is an asset to Skyrim.
Literally impossible
Well
to be
done
more
indeed.
quiet without being muted.
I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice.
Thanks.
I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me.
Okay. Now, what's funny about this is, if you'll notice, all three of the primary quest arcs have something like this. It's basically, are you a fighter? Hit me and prove it. Are you a mage? Cast this and prove it. Are you a thief? Pickpocket this and prove it. All three of them, the very first quest is, do something related to your guild.
Much knowledge lies within the college's walls.
That's nice. I don't care. But the really weird thing is several of these quests basically have nothing to do with their core essence once you get past the initial quest. I'm not sure what I think of that method. So, we've talked about this before. I've had that happen, Bregwin. In Morrowind, you needed to reach certain skills in order to advance in rank, and you needed to advance in rank in order to do more quests. In Oblivion, most of the quests, not all of them, I'll admit that, but most of the quests were actually specifically designed in a way that it would encourage you to, or require you, in order to use them in order to go through it. In Skyrim, it's do the one quest, and then the rest doesn't matter. Hey, Carbon.
The college is an asset
You
to
missed me
Skyrim, even
ripping
if it goes
apart the
unnoticed
companion's
or
change earlier.
unappreciated. Mirabelle will be
I don't seem to have a quest here. I just can't help but notice. Like, at all. Oh, never mind. There we go. There we go. God, I love this silence. Infinite silence. This is our future, guys. Oh, hey, Encano. How are things?
Welcome to the college.
How you doing, buddy? I was told to come see you.
Another new student. I'm surprised at how many of you there are lately. Well, first you'll need these. While you're not required to wear them, you may find them more to your liking than your current clothes.
Thanks.
I'll give you a brief tour, and then we'll get you to your first class. Are you ready to begin?
Sure.
Wonderful. Please follow me, and don't wander off.
Can I say one thing I do like about the gameplay side of this? And then I am going to cut this off. We'll actually do the Mages Guild tomorrow. So armor increases your armor. I know, duh, right? But the thing is, while enchantments can do whatever, one of the most interesting things they did in this game was that they made wearing robes actually worth a damn. Because almost every single robe has that little enchantment right there. Magic regenerates faster. And if you're playing normally, and you're trying a mage-heavy playthrough, that magic regen is basically mandatory if you want to cast your spells normally. Now, that feels a little bit too mandatory, but I did kind of like the fact that there was a legitimate reason to wear mage robes other than just a few slightly different buffs, you know what I mean? Just something I wanted to comment on. Now, obviously, you can enchant and switch that around to whatever later, but if we're talking about just default and not crafting, there you are. Yeah, sadly, there's only one robe in this entire game I personally like the appearance of, and it's the Archmage's robe.
The College of Winterhold has been a fixture in Skyrim for thousands of years.
Millions
a prominent feature here is the Hall of the Elements. It's our primary location for lectures, practice sessions, and general meetings. The Arcanium is located above the hall, and the Archmage's quarters above that. While technically in charge of the college, the Archmage's responsibilities often keep him occupied. Thus, I run the day-to-day operations. Now, if you'll please follow me, I'll show you the living quarters.
I'm just enjoying the
Unfortunately,
view.
we've
Don't
had
mind
to
me.
implement more stringent entry procedures due to some problems with the local Nords. We don't anticipate any real violence, but it never hurts to be prepared.
Silence. Okay, God's sakes, this is driving me insane. I'm sorry. I need some kind of music. Something. Anything. Ah, there we go. Ah, music. I'll agree with that, actually, Marto. With only a couple of exceptions. It's one of the reasons why later on I still use the fire, like the first fire spell and the first healing spell, even in late game, because it scales better than the later spells. Oh yeah, by the way, some of you are like, why are you not playing the in-game? I can just tell some of you people are thinking that. We've still got the combat music playing.
Our newest members are housed here, in the Hall of Attainment. I'll ask that you please keep your voice down while inside, as others may be working on research or delicate experiments.
Epically walking into the room. The dorm rooms. Behold.
Now I'll show you to your quarters. You're going to be sharing space with your fellow apprentices, who you'll meet shortly.
Epic.
This is where you'll be staying. This bed and desk are yours. Please try and be considerate of others. Now, let's go back to the Hall of the Elements, where most of the members gather for lectures and
What did I do to deserve a bed for free? I literally walked up and cast a spell, and I already have my own room. Jesus Christ. I haven't even given you any money. Could you imagine if real-life college was like this? That would actually be kind of awesome, wouldn't it? You walk up to, I don't know, like a network engineering college. I'll just use something from my own experience. And it's like, hey, I'd really like to learn more about network engineering. And then it's like, so, you know, tell me some basic facts about IPs. Okay, you know, 192.168.1.1, enter, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, here you go. So here's a room already furnished with a bed just for you. And it's like, what? I just showed up. Yeah, no, this is yours. Cool! Like, that'd be great. But I remind you that the Winters College is not funded by anything but themselves. This would make more sense in the Mages Guild, where the Mages Guild has massive governmental funding. And is literally a part of the government.
One of our most esteemed wizards.
Epically walking. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun. 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 I can't actually kill anyone here, so I just gotta do the headbang. Most epic walk ever. Ta-da!
Tolfdir is likely already addressing the new apprentices. Go on in, and if you have any problems, let one of our senior members know.
If I was willing to be, like, generous... Oh my god, he's up! Ancano, how are you doing, buddy? On your knees. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Jackass. Alright, for real. For real. I'm going to chop this off for tonight. Tomorrow, we'll do the worst quest arc in the entire game. And then the Thieves Guild. And then the Dark Brotherhood. So I hope to see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST.